Welcome back to Brick Dynasty Live. Tonight we have a returning guest. Brick Dad was on with us in the past and told his story, which is, man, it was an interesting ride. That was a great show. So anybody who hasn't
For
seen
sure.
that, do go back and give that a listen after tonight. Brick Dad is joining us tonight to talk about the smart brick, the smart place system. He was the first one to really do the homework and dig in and pay attention to what the product was actually about and shared that information, in my opinion, without crazy amounts of emotion behind it. There was a lot of fact and a lot of like delivering of actual information and not a lot of attitude and clickbait kind of behavior, which I really appreciated. So I figured who better to talk to about the subject and see what your thoughts are now that the product is actually out and, have a legitimate discussion about the topic.
I look forward to it. It's going to be a great topic from both sides. Uh, Even as a true major Star Wars fan, which a lot of Lego fans are, um, they came into the Lego realm because of Star Wars. Star Wars has been around for quite a few years now, longer than most other themes or IPs that have been in the Lego system. So, you know, it's hard for a new product to be introduced into a major fandom like that and be well received all the way around. So we'll discuss how that happens and we'll just go with it and see where we go with this. So
All right. Well, so the first question I have to ask, just to get this out of the way, because obviously, it's because you've presented everything so factually. There's been the accusations of you being an Lego employee or you're LAN and you haven't admitted to it. So, what's the real story there? You're not a Lego employee, are you?
Lego. The closest I've ever been to working for Lego was doing collaboration builds at Legoland Discovery Centers with their master model builders. So I'm not a land member. I've never even submitted an application to be a land member. Um, I love and respect the land. I do belong to a Lego user group that is a recognized Lego user group, but I'm literally just a lug member. Um, Lego user group, lug, if you will. So I don't have any connection or even communication to Lego directly, other than any other fan in the Lego realm. So
Okay. All right. So, had to get it out there
no,
because at
no.
some point somebody's going to ask the question.
Actually, it's already been posted. There was a TikToker, a YouTuber, and Instagrammer that threw it out there and lumped me in with several of the other land members that were provided access in Las Vegas to go and actually, see the reveal at CES, Consumer Electronics Show, and all of
Mhm.
that, and all of that. And I didn't. I saw it the same way as everyone else. I did have access to several streams that were being played live, just like any other consumer would. But I actually jumped over into the electronic side to watch what they're posting and sharing during the live reveal and stuff like that. So I watched it just like everybody else, sitting right here at my home in my Lego room. So yeah, I didn't get anything before anybody else or anything like that, including the sets. And just so everybody's clear, I did buy. We're going to talk about sets. I did buy the entire set of Smart Place sets out of my pocket. Nothing was gifted to me. I paid for all of it.
Ouch. Oh man. Didn't even wait for a sale, huh?
No, no, no. Well,
Oh.
this is an initial rollout of this product. And if I
Mhm.
wanted to have the opinion that I have, I wanted to make sure that I did have it, even if it was full price, to be able to back up what I've already said about the product itself. So I haven't really walked back any of the statements that I've made about it or my expectations of it. Um, but yeah, no, it is what it was advertised to be. Now I understand there's some hurt feelings out there that it didn't meet some people's expectations, and when we get to specifics about some of the sets and stuff like that, we can discuss those then. But yeah, it's smart brick. It is a new, somewhat innovative, very innovative in the Lego realm, but in technology wise, it's fairly innovative. I think it'll do well over time. I just think it needs more establishment.
Okay. Now, when you say establishment, do you mean like familiarity? Or do you mean like the product itself needs, some bugs worked out? They need to they need to learn how to present it to the community as well as the community needs to accept it.
I think it actually spans all of those, and the reason I say that is because I think it needs a um, wider retail market than just a single IP. And now I don't have a problem with what IP it came out with, other than the fact that I think it was not the best choice at the time. I think it very much fits with Star Wars, but I don't think that was the best choice for a debut theme. I think they should have stuck with what Lego is known for, and that is their traditional town and city style sets, where Lego was founded on the principles of the Lego play system was based on city sets. And I think
Mhm.
that's where they should have started with debuting this. I think the reception and the advertising opportunities for it would have been a lot better than trying to dive into a sci-fi fantasy realm that is so fan based that if it's not lore, it doesn't belong in
Yep.
in the realm of our IP. So smart bricks are not Star Wars lore, so they don't belong in Star Wars.
Yeah, and it's certainly the most critical of the crowds.
Exactly, exactly. But it's understandable why they did choose that.
Mhm.
The fan base is so large that when it comes to Lego and electronics and things like that, you're going to get attention, whether it's good or bad, which it has been, if you use a major IP like that. And then it also comes down to the benefactors of who's funding the program, also, who
Mhm.
shares the profit margins on the IP. Now, Disney, Lucasfilms, other branches of financial backing to make the Star Wars line what it is.
Okay. Now, there's 9 ways to ask this question, so I will probably ask it 9 different times in different
And
ways.
you know what? I'm completely fine with that. So,
Okay. So, as far as the inaccuracies with the sound, now I understand part of that is limited to the tech itself, right?
yes.
Is that purely the issue, or is it licensing problems, or is it mistakes, or how exactly does that work?
Okay, well, the way the well, let's back up just a little bit to start with. And what I would
Yeah.
like to do is show something real quick, just so everybody that knows. If you're not familiar with what the smart play system is, I have an image here that will show you what we're looking at. And see if that presents there. If you can pull that up. So what we're looking at here is basically a minifigure, a smart brick, and then triggering tiles. So if you're not familiar with what the smart play system is, we're going to look at how these three things interact with each other inside this system. So you have a smart brick. The smart brick is the main processing center for the information in this. Your minifigure and the tags act very similar to each other in how they trigger the smart brick to react. The tile is going to have a baseline type coding in it to say it is this type of tile. And an example of that would be this tile right here, which is a lightsaber tile.
Okay.
Now, this tile will not operate unless you have a smart figure in connection with the tile and the brick. So you'll need all three of those to activate this type of a tile. And then in order to do that, your minifigure and your brick will interact together. So you can have a figure that when placed in close proximity to the brick will talk, make sounds, and things like that. Now, the technology is in the brick itself. And to be able to cram everything into a literal 2x4 brick with two plates on top of it in size, that's the equivalent size of what this is. And that includes a battery. Now, the voice the voice synthesizing that goes into this is a 4-bar synthesizer. So it doesn't necessarily come down to the licensing or any of that stuff. It's just a matter of how do we make it one universal so it can be in any country and still communicate an idea of the character saying something. The other side of it is also that they want to take away the iconic lines, even though that's what makes Star Wars is the iconic lines, is they want to take it away so that you can take that character and put him in a different scenario with a different tile triggering a activity or something like that. How he reacts or says something or does something will be different. And if his line was an iconic line like that, he would say the same thing over and over and over and over. Where with a synthesized voice or scripted line like that, and it's not really, I always refer to them like the adults in Charlie Brown
Yeah.
because of the way he sounds. It's like wah 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 wah. So you don't have a clear what is he saying. So then you can actually fill in the blank with your mind and your imagination of what they're saying.
Okay.
So rather than have the licensing agreements and all that, because the Lego already has the licensing agreements, so they could actually put the sounds in there. The only thing is they would then have to remove the synthesizer and put in a speaker, which would make the brick a little bit larger. We have voice bricks already from Lego.
Mhm.
And then it would have to read it and then say it, and it would be in whatever language Lego chose, but then that would be the universal language. Otherwise, they'd have to get into technology to voice over every single one in all of the countries that these would be available in. So now we have a universal product that can go to every country and do the same thing everywhere. So cost wise, it saves some money in that regard. But yeah, to answer the question on is it a licensing issue? Is it a availability issue? What is the issue with why they didn't use the iconic lines? I think it's mostly they want to have the characters recognized, one for their physical look, but two for a semitone of what they sound like, but then also to have the ability to take them out of the iconic scenes where they say these one-liners and put them into other scenes so that you can imagine them saying other things.
Okay. All right. That makes good sense. Yeah. So I guess I would relate it to like one of the dolls you find on the shelf in the toy aisle where you squeeze its foot or its hand and it's got the same 3 or 4 lines over and over again, which
Example of that is Woody from Toy Story. He's a pull
yep,
string puppet.
yep,
He's got there's a snake in my boot, or there's like 5 lines that he has that are iconic lines that as a toy you pull a string and stuff like that. But in the imagination of the movie, when there's no humans around, he can say whatever he wants. So
yeah,
taking that same type of mindset and putting it into this, where we know the lines that they can say because we watch the movies. But at the
yeah,
same time, you have a lot of youth that are coming into the Star Wars line that may not have seen the movies yet.
yeah.
So they're going to create their own lines and their own stories, which now expands Star Wars beyond what it already is.
Okay. All right. Well, that that logic actually takes away one of my initial complaints was that it was going to be limiting to a child's imagination because they weren't going to be doing some of those things anymore. But I suppose actually removing lines gives them that opportunity. Okay. All right. That's a cool
We
perspective. I
can
like
take Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker and have the iconic scene where Luke loses his hand and he's told, "I'm your father. Search your feelings, Luke. you know I'm your father, and all of that, where we could have those iconic lines, but at what point in the storyline does those lines become relevant outside of the story? So taking those lines away and make it a synthesized ma, yeah, ma, 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 it changes the context of being able to use those characters outside of that, which reduces the programming that has to be done on the tiles and smart figs.
Yeah. Yeah. So a kid could just as easily say, Nana, you missed me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which,
I've got a Kevlar glove on. You couldn't cut my hand off. Sorry. Yeah.
yeah. Yep. I can
Beskar.
hear those lines happening in my house. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep. Cool. All right. And man, it's the first time I've seen the brick at this angle. They're weird looking.
Yeah,
So
this is a clear cutaway that they actually showed at CES. Again, I wasn't there. These are images and things that I picked up off of the internet by just doing research and homework to show what the components were. The tiles, what you see there is the same as these right here. It's just those are clear coated because they're printed in layers. So you put the wiring in and then you get another layer over it. There's actually a couple YouTube videos out there where they've been soaked in acetone to eat away the plastic and stuff like that to actually see what was in some of these. People have gone through and x-rayed these things to actually look at the components and stuff from multiple angles and stuff like that. So there's a lot more information coming out about this, people taking a deeper dive, looking at what it is and stuff like that. So um, if you guys are just joining us or you're in here watching, my biggest thing for you is don't say you hate a product until you've experienced a product. Now, you may dislike it, you may not think it's for you, which is totally fine, totally cool. I respect that. But like, don't rule a car out until you drive a car, right? You're gonna take a truck and just say I hate trucks until you drive a truck and you're like, oh man, what was I missing? I should have drove a truck my whole life. There's a lot of things that you can look at and say, yeah, I don't like the design of it. Okay, that's a valid reason. Now, just to say I don't like it because it's ruining my theme, that's kind of an invalid point,
yeah.
in my opinion, of course.
Yeah. I mean, the whole "it's not for me" thing. Well, that's okay
Exactly.
because really these sets are not made for me, right? They're really not made for either of us, right? And probably
Yeah.
most of the people in here. They're made for our
Play
kids.
sets.
Yeah.
And most AFOLs, adult fans of Lego, are not looking to buy play sets.
Yep.
I'm not going to sit across from a table with you majority of the time and take a set like this dueling set right here and have a minifigure lightsaber battle with you in the afternoons while we
Yep.
sit there and have a bourbon and smoke a cigar. Could that happen once or twice? Yeah, maybe, but it's not going to be something that we're going to be doing on a daily type of a thing. So no, these are
Yep.
not built for adults like us. These are meant for kids that are going to interact and play with each other and things like that. So
Yep. Yeah. Although on the note of that set, that will for sure be happening in Chicago.
oh yes, as it is, one of the events that we have is we actually do a dueling fight club minifig session, and we may incorporate some of these into that for that purpose. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. What was it called? Duel of the Plates.
Yes,
Yep. Yeah, that was a
something
good
like
time last year. Yeah. Oh, it's on. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Bearded Brickman posted 90 days until Monday landing for Chicago.
under 100.
It's crazy.
Yeah, excited. I'm ready for it.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Like I spoke to you offline. For those of you that don't know, I was literally just down in Indianapolis for Brickworld Expo Indy, and we had approximately 11,000 people come and visit the show in 2 days. Now, the size of that expo is about 3/5, well, maybe not even 3/5, about, let's see, 65,000 square feet. We're about 135, 140,000 square feet with Chicago. So just over double the size of Indy is what you're going to get at Chicago. So yeah, it's a massive show. So if you're not prepared for Chicago, it is an eye-opening
Oh yeah.
Lego experience. So
Yeah. It was a hell of a shock to the system for me last year.
right, what that was
Oh,
your first last year, correct?
oh yeah. Yep. First
Oh
one.
yeah, yeah. It
Yep.
always
I'm
seems like there's
actually
just not
disappointed
enough
you only
time.
get one first time.
That's well, you know what? With the size of that show, if when you come for a second time, you're going to see and experience things that you didn't see or experience last time, which will be like another first. So um,
Awesome.
now that you've popped the cork, if you will, of having been there, now going to some of the workshops or work groups or garage sales or just even event lobby events that are unscheduled, just pop up type events where people start getting together and stuff like that. You start hitting so many things like that that are not show things, but just happen randomly around the event and stuff like that. So it actually becomes an amazing event just by having everyone around,
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. It's getting so close.
right?
All right. So let me see here. Okay. So you went back all the way through the initial like patent filings and all of that stuff,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, the original idea submission filing was way back in 2008. So that's when this whole idea first came about, was 2008. It didn't really kick off until about 2012 when they started filing the first ideas for the smart place system. And then it jumped up to 2017, I believe, is when they actually started filing for FCC regulation rules and all that type of stuff. So after 2017 is when it actually physically started to take shape and get to where it was at. But yeah, all of the design schematics and stuff like that for how the smart place system works, interacts with each other, the frequencies at which the frequency ranges on what the antennas work on were all filings and stuff like that. So that's where I went to get my information on all of this, was what is the smart place system? What is Lego filing for? Because that's something that every company has to do when they start doing stuff, and especially with electronics and digital type things, is being in the realm of what is legal under regulations. Now, right now, we've only got about, I want to say, 6 or 7 countries that the smart place system's even available in, because of some of those types of filings and rules and regulations and stuff like that. So being able to get them approved in other countries so that we can go global with the smart play is completely different. So
Well, I guess the next question there then is, if they've been working on this for that long, is this actually old technology? Or have they had to continually change it for the last 7 years? Because technology moves so fast.
there's an
Or,
ambiguity to their filings of saying what the tech is designed to do. The proprietary portion of how they design that is kind of a um, limited topic. So the
right,
processor and the processing speeds and what's in there. So yeah, by all rights, what this brick is right now is probably outdated for what could be put into it based
okay,
on the development time and stuff like that. Because this brick is probably about 6 years, 5 to 6 years behind current technologies available at this moment. But in order to process it, build it, and get it into a manufacturing state where it could be packaged and sold, you've got at least a 2 to 3 year window for that process alone, just to get it on the market. So that's why, if you take any of these smart bricks and stuff like that, the pad that you put these on for charging actually has a Bluetooth connection to your smart device. And the reason that is so that they can actually update the software inside the bricks. Now, you don't need it to play games or do any of those things, but to be able to update the operating software that's in the chips that are in these, you do need that type of connection to a smart device with internet.
Okay. Let me see if I understand this right. Okay,
Yeah.
so the brick is the actual smart piece, right?
Correct.
Smart brick, whatever.
Yes.
The tiles, all the tiles do are to tell the brick which pieces are trying to interact.
So your tile, it has an icon on it, and the icon on it could be a set of lightsabers. That means
Mm,
that when you put a figure that is a smart figure next to a brick and that tile, it's going to make lightsaber sounds. Now, if you
okay.
had a spaceship sound, a spaceship tile, Millennium Falcon or something like that, if you put that figure and a smart brick next to that tile, it's going to make that swooshing sounds. So even if I took a base, just a standard plate, do it right here. I've got, well, let me grab a flat plate. So I take a flat plate like this right here, just a plate, and I put lightsaber tile, and I've got Luke from the dual set, and I put him right next to it, like so. And then I take a smart brick, and I put the smart brick. Of course, once you pull it off the charger, shake it, wake it, and then you take it. Now you can hear as you move it, it makes. Okay. So that's an example. If it doesn't even have to be in a play set to operate or
Okay.
function like that, the sets that these all go with are literally there for the aesthetics of the scenes that they're given. So um, so that's how the three pieces actually interact together. Now, if I
Okay.
changed up that tile and put a different tile or two different tiles, um, I could actually put a ship tile and then I could have him sitting in front of it like so, and then have a ship tile next to it. And if I put a light sensor on the brick right here, if I put a color tile of red in front of it, it would then make a laser sound for whatever that ship is on that
Okay.
tile. So they're trigger tiles. They're just RFID tags, if you will, and it's literally just uh, a trigger for a sound that's already programmed into the smart brick.
Okay.
I hope I explained that well enough.
You did. Okay. So then, all right. So then my question will make some kind of sense then. So you had talked about your smart device or whatever updating the brick. So if those are just triggers, then it's possible that an update could change something within the brick to make the sounds sound different, I suppose.
If they can come up with a more functional synthesized sound, they can update the sounds through that Bluetooth connection by updating the software inside the brick.
Okay.
So if they figure out a way to compress files more than they're already compressed, being able to upload additional sound files or things like that, it definitely could do that. But another thing to remember too is the smart bricks are not designed just for Star Wars. These are
Mhm.
designed for all of the follow-on sets that have already been designed, as well as that update for additional sets that are going to be coming. So the smart play system is going to transform play all the way across everything that's out there. You've got Pokemon sets, you've got Animal Crossing. There's lots of singing and dancing in Animal Crossing. You've got city sets where there's construction sounds and car sounds and police and birds chirping and all kinds of sounds galore. And then you've got the other IPs. You've got Marble. You've got the in-house IP of Ninjago. All of those will all function with a smart brick. And these are, I don't want to call them dumb bricks, but these will be the same no matter what set they're going into. And that's where the tiles will come into play for what is it triggering inside the smart brick.
Okay. Do you see a day where you can get, I don't know, like, what's the thing that the kids like to buy? Skins for like Minecraft, or like like an expansion pack where it's like, okay, let's buy a battle pack of just tiles, that kind of thing.
I actually wouldn't put that past Lego. They've done um, sets in the past that have been accessory sets to IPs and things like that. Harry Potter, Star Wars, several other ones that were just accessory. They were like a three figure, 4 figure pack,
Yep.
and it had like 2 or 3 little mini builds in it as well. I wouldn't put it past them to do something like that with tiles to expand the universe with that. The cost for the tiles is significantly lower than trying to do smart bricks. And if you could do a software upgrade for a smart brick and then also sell tiles, that's just more revenue coming to the company. So yeah, I definitely would expect that if I was running the business, that would be something I would do. Yes.
Yeah, that would be cool if you get, it's the holiday sampler pack or something, just to
Oh yeah,
have like,
Christmas sounds.
yep, yep. Yeah, simple things like the jingle of a bell and, the toot of a train horn or something. I mean,
You could do a October fall one with the ghostly sounds
yeah,
for in a haunted house or something like that. So
yeah,
yeah, there's a lot of opportunities that these can apply to.
okay. Yeah, I mean, there would be some cost savings to that, taking that approach. Well, on the consumer end, there'd be some cost
For
savings,
sure, yeah.
which would be nice. These things are
Well,
expensive.
well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Looking at the sets themselves, if we're looking at the dual set itself, the retail on it right now from Lego is 159.99. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, with the secondary market, we can gauge roughly what the value of the smart bricks are outside of the set. So we've had the smart play system for about a month now. Um, what about half month? It was a March 1st release, so we're at midway through the month, and the smart bricks are retailing on the secondary market for about $25 a brick.
Okay.
Now, if you don't have a charger, you have to purchase a charger pad for it as well. Those are retailing at about $17 a pop. So that alone right
42.
there takes the dual set at 159 down to $100 set. And let's see, what's the part count is 962 pieces. So that's literally putting it right on par with the standard Lego price per part ratio that most of us are used to with that. So the addition of the smart place parts is where the additional cost is on those. So if you look at it as a set generally, it's really not that much more expensive.
Okay. What about the ones that don't come with the brick? Because those
Those
feel
right there,
expensive too.
yeah. Let's take a look at that. Let's look at the Millennium Falcon. Millennium Falcon is 885 pieces at $100.
Okay, so that's
So
really not that much of a leap either.
not really, and it does include locations for 4 different smart bricks at the same time in that set, which means 4 of the smart tags, which does require a little extra manufacturing, but it also has
Mhm.
4 smart figures in that set as well, which requires the extra manufacturing. So there is some initial cost with that as well versus the $10 standard minifigs where we have $15 minifigs because of the extra wiring and packaging that or technology that's inside those figures.
Okay.
So we could roughly bump that set price down to a $70 actual cost set without the smart play system.
Now, you said that set has room for 4 smart bricks.
That's correct. It does.
How would you obtain 4 smart bricks?
Well, there's several ways you can do it. There's 3 sets that come with smart bricks that are inclusive with the smart bricks. The dual, the what's the other one? The X-wing, as well as the Tie Fighter. That would get you 4 bricks in those 3 sets because the dual comes with 2 bricks, and then each of the others come with single bricks.
Okay.
So, in essence, you would still need to buy 4 sets to get 4 bricks for
Right.
the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. So I'm thinking if I would never spend this money anyway, but say I had the money to just go and buy the wave to give it to my kids and say, okay, let's fully deck this thing out. I want you to be able to use every aspect of it all at once. Let's fill it. Even buying the whole wave, you can't fill every smart brick spot simultaneously. You have to remove from one area to fill somewhere else.
So if you had 4 kids all wanting to play with it at the same time, you could, in essence, have 1 brick for each kid to place in something. So is one kid's got one on the Cantina set where he's putting it on the mixing machine, the drink mixer, and then he has to take it out and move it over to the jazz band in the Cantina to make them play their music. At the same time, you've got another kid that's got one that is in the X-wing flying, and the other one has another one in the TIE fighter flying, and then you have the ATST with one walking. So
Okay.
it does get a little complicated at trying to have everybody have a brick and play with one. Now you could put all 4 of those bricks into the one Millennium Falcon, but you're still not going to have enough hands to be able to operate all 4 of those bricks as a single person.
Yeah.
So I literally tried it today just to see, and it's difficult to try and manipulate all of the controls at the same time for those smart bricks. Now, having them all in there and being able to do this one, then do this one, and stuff like that was a very fun experience to be able to make the sounds all the way across this entire ship.
Okay.
But like I said, if you wanted extra bricks or something like that, if you go to Bricklink, you can find them on the secondary market, but they're going to be another $25 cost for additional bricks,
Yeah.
and you have to have a charging pad for it. Now, if you already have a pad that has charging that you can charge bricks on, you're a bonus in that category. So you buy the cheapest set you can, which is the TIE Fighter, I believe. Yeah, TIE Fighter at $69.99. You get a charging pad with it, so you can charge up to 2 bricks at a time on that charging pad.
Okay.
So, $69.99, and then you spend another $75 for 3 more bricks. You could have 4 bricks, 2 to play and 2 to charge at the same time.
Okay. Now, at some point, you got to imagine that they will sell the bricks separately, right?
Oh,
I mean,
very, very likely.
Yep.
The big question right now with the Smart Play system is the warranty on the bricks. Lego has a long-standing reputation of if a brick breaks, gets damaged, or something like that, contact Lego customer service and they will replace it and manage it for you. Now, when it comes to the Smart Brick, will they sustain that opportunity of, hey, I have a problem with my brick or what? Or will it turn into a type of system where it's you have to take your brick to an authorized rep, i.e. a Lego store, and exchange it for a new brick to verify that one, it is a default brick and needs to be replaced after they test it real quick. So now we've got a geek squad that's working at the Lego store.
Yep.
So
Yeah, that'll be
Is it
interesting.
just your software didn't update and it's glitched? Because it happens. It's an electronic device. So, you can test it as much as you want beforehand, but there's going to be something that happens that's going to glitch it or cause a problem with it. So,
Yeah. Well, it's a very analog toy that suddenly has some tech jammed into it. So you get it over at grandma's house and the kids are playing with it. It's grandma doesn't know what the hell's going on. She's like, oh, well, it's not
sure.
working. Clearly, this thing is broken. Couldn't
Yeah,
be anything else. Mhm.
it could be it just needed to be charged and it wasn't
Yep.
placed on the charger right. So,
Yep. Yeah. It would be great if, the dog gets a hold of it and you can't return it. You could just, go on a Pab or something and just order yourself one for $20 or whatever.
for sure, yeah.
Yeah. I can't imagine, it's accidentally, dropping one in the garbage disposal and then saying, "Okay, well, now I gotta go spend $70 for another set just to get the brick."
Exactly. Exactly. So that's where the question comes in right now. And um, what's their warranty policy going to be? Because this is an electronic device. Are they going to put a time span of 5 years from registration date? Because these are made with the app to be able to register them with your account. So if you have a
Mhm.
Lego account, you not yet because they haven't activated that feature yet, but it is a feature that's available going in with your smart brick and registering them. So if you take it in and they say, oh, this brick wasn't registered, it needs 5 updates of software. They do the update right there, give it back to you and say, now it's your brick. Or they say, since you didn't update your software, it's you over 2 years, that original update isn't available anymore, so it won't be functional anymore. So yeah, there's going to be a learning curve on the consumer side of how to interact with Lego based off of this entire new system.
Oh, man, if you register these things, they have to make it so it sings happy birthday to the kids.
That would be phenomenal. Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Like
man.
an anniversary date for it to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be really cool. That would actually be the biggest selling point I've heard, I think. It's yeah,
I
my
I could agree with
oldest
you on that. Yeah.
loves a celebration and will celebrate at any opportunity, and if her toy started singing happy birthday to her, oh, man, it would
It would be pretty cool. I
oh,
can admit that. Like a accessory pack, like you said, that would be a birthday cake with a birthday tile. That
mhm.
when placed on that tile, you could activate your happy birthday wish.
Oh, yeah.
Come in and get your tile on your birthday or something like that.
Oh, that'd be great too. Yeah, there is some potential there for
Yes.
sure. Now, okay, as I have been not pulling up the questions here, I'm not used to having these things available.
Rambling and talking about it, and one topic just transfers over into another and stuff like that because
Yep.
that's just how this whole system works. So
Okay. Now, and then I've completely lost chat. That's fine. There we go. Uh, the the rollout on this was interesting. So we heard nothing. Like there was the grand Pokemon rollout like 3 days before, 2 days before, whatever it was, and I think that actually went well. The GWP didn't disappear immediately. Nothing sold out in the first hour. The website didn't crash for very long. We had a couple minutes of
see the
problems.
fact you can say very long.
Yeah,
Did it crash? Yes. Not for very long though. So yeah.
yeah.
No, and that was the thing too is I think the rollout for the smart place system was a skepticism issue. I think Lego was skeptical of rolling out because of the initial reactions from the debut at CES with the Star Wars system. None of the land members received them prior to March 1st. Most of them had to go to stores if they wanted to see them on day one. So
Mhm.
most of them got them the first week. They didn't mail until literally just before uh, the release date. So it literally was a March 1st release, other than the CES demonstration that was what, 2 days before, if that. So, but even that right there shows that Lego was hesitant either to not put it out there, or was it completely ready to go out? I
Yeah,
don't know. I'm in the same boat as everybody else with that. Of my personal opinion, I think that they were skeptical to launch it when they launched it, but they had already made the CES uh, reveal and their slot to debut it at CES, because I think they wanted to have more uh, uh, themes prepared to launch it with. The beta testing and everything that they did was with city sets. It wasn't with
mhm,
Star Wars. They did beta testing for about 4 different sets that were city adventure sets. They weren't even downtown city sets. But when they did the CES demo, they had a city set with the police sounds and a cop and robber, and some 3-in-1 creator type sets with ducks and play systems like that, where it could make other sounds. None of which we have seen any of those things yet. So
yeah. So, well, you were trying to, last Thursday seems like it was 7 months ago. Um, you were in chat while Duck was on with ACOB, right?
yes,
Okay. So you heard his explanation of why Land didn't get their sets in time. I don't know if I fully buy it, honestly. I mean,
Can you use a full word?
I don't. I mean, not that Duck was telling tall tales, or I'm not accusing him or anything like that. I just think his opinion is a little off there. I absolutely don't have it in me to believe that Lego wouldn't have planned well enough to get those in everybody's hands for the first. It was a case of they didn't want them in their hands prior to release. Like
yeah,
it.
I that makes me wonder too. Of I think it was. I've heard rumor that there was a memo that went out to the land members that told them that if you have any concerns or questions or uncertainty about the new product, to contact them before making reviews or social media posts or anything like that, so that those concerns could be addressed at that point, rather than taking it public without it being addressed beforehand, so that land members could give the correct information, as well as um, educated understanding out to the public with those sets. And I think that was part of the rollout, was they weren't sure how that was going to go,
Okay.
because I can guarantee everything right now. I try not to name drop for creators and stuff like that when they come out and they say negative things about it, stuff like that. There was one creator that got it. I want to say a week or two before the drop, because it was purchased overseas
Hmm.
from a retailer that got them early because of their location and stuff like that, and paid double the price to get the set so that they could review them, and bash them beyond belief because the creator is a hardcore Star Wars fan. Um, didn't necessarily take a look at the technology aspect of it, other than the set design aspect of it. Totally fine. But at the same time, they also talked in the same video about how they purchased day one sets for their collection, as well as another set that they were going to have available for auction or giveaway or things like that. So they had a total of 3 sets. One set they paid double price for, but then turned around and continued to bash on it the entire time. So eh, I understand that. And since you mentioned Duck and being on ACOB, Duck did the same thing. Duck is no longer a land member for whatever reasons. I don't know. I don't personally know Duck other than several interactions that I've had with him at shows and stuff like that. So why he's no longer in land, whatever reason he says, whatever reason the land says, I don't know. Not my concern. I'm not worried about it. But you have to take every content creators, including myself, our opinions with a grain of salt of what we talk about and what we say. It's our opinions, it's our perspectives on things. I try to do my best to make sure that I back up everything with facts and information, not just my opinion or my feelings about things. Where there are a lot of younger creators that go for the emotional lash out to get likes, get clicks, get revenue off of their streams and stuff like that. Now, the concern with early release of these for technology being possibly stolen or hacked or all of those things, I don't know. There's people already out there right now that are cloning all of the tags and the characters. So they're taking technology, they're grabbing the signal off of it and cloning the tags. So you could clone a Luke figure like this right here without having all of the actual printing and everything that's inside. So you could take a regular Luke figure, be able to take his legs on and off, change his arms, change his legs, do all of the things that you normally do with a regular figure, but have an RFID sticker on his back in place of the printing here.
Oh, okay.
So there was an opportunity to be able to do it in that way. The reason Lego did not and actually put it inside is for the longevity of the piece. So with a sticker type RFID tag, that would be something that would wear out over time and not be usable. That was something that happened with the dimension sets, with the little round pucks that they have.
Mhm.
The RFID tags that were in those delaminated over time and actually came apart.
Oh, okay.
So the Smart Play system is an upgrade to that type of technology, not a new iteration of it, but an upgrade to how they did things to make the longevity of something last. So rather than have it sandwiched between two pieces of plate, what they did was they actually embedded it in the plastic so it's not able to be messed with or delaminated or anything like that. So the only way we can do it is literally like that YouTube video by soaking it in acetone and literally eating the whole thing away.
Well, let's hope not too many people make a habit of that.
Right? Exactly.
That's not very kid friendly.
So that was a really long answer to your question.
Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. So you mentioned getting the sets early from a different country. Well, I know in the US, there were several people who were finding them at like the basic stores like Walmart early. I mean, and that's just the nature of retail for a big release. They just have things in advance of release, right? So if they
Put
could
it out
get
early, you're going to get more retail sale off of that product. Now, if you get it in and you're like, hey, don't put it out until March 1st, and you put it out February 23rd, you've got about a week of retail sales before that March release. So if somebody's looking for it and the word gets out that you have it, you're going to sell your sets. So
Yeah.
there's
Well,
that always happens.
what I'm thinking there is, say, February 23rd, 24th, whatever, Walmart gets a pallet of them, right? Or however many cases, whatever. How is it that Walmart gets them a week or two early, but the land members can't get theirs?
The logistics of shipping out mass quantity stuff like that is definitely way different than the land members. The
Yeah, I mean, it's a
land
whole
members,
different department.
yeah, land members have a independent representative that they all work through in their advertising and marketing department. So where land members get them is they're getting them shipped directly to them, to their personal addresses and PO boxes and those types of things. Where the consumer side of things, they're already palletized up and stuff like that, wrapped, ready to go. So they're already in the system beforehand. Now, a lot of them will be discreetly wrapped that, hey, don't unwrap until this date. So you can't go in and scan a SKU while it's in transit and bust into boxes like that to say, hey, pull one out, and oh, it got damaged. It was gone during shipping or something like that. So there is a lot of limit to the packaging and how that happens. So that's why when we order from Lego, you'll get a box inside of a box inside of another box most of the time, is to try and minimize the amount of one, damage to the sets, but also identifying what's in the box. So you'll have a plain box from a distributor. It never even says Lego on the outside label of the box. So you just learn who the company is that's sending it to you.
Yeah, I actually appreciate that when you open a box from Lego, it says, "Why are Lego boxes so plain?" Like on one of the inside flaps.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've always liked that. Yep. But I think of like all of these whatnot sellers. You know, they'll get on, they'll make, 300 sales in a night. And within 36 hours, all of those sales are shipped out. And this is just like a guy and his wife or girlfriend just like in their living room. But, it's a multi-billion-dollar company can't get, 700 units or something out to individuals.
Well, that was another thing too, is with the Smart Play rollout, Walmart, Target, Myers, a lot of the main retailers got limited quantities on the rollout. So there were a lot of them that didn't put them out on the shelves for that reason. They kept them in the back, so you could either do an online store pickup purchase, or you could come in, go through their interactive retail display part and actually purchase them there. But there was also giveaways that were being done at some of these stores as well. So Target had a collectible coin for they had 3 different coins that were able to be picked up at the purchase for a set, one per customer and stuff like that. So they tried to limit those and stretch those out a little bit to help promote the sales and that type of stuff. But it was a very slow rollout for this, which was unusual for Lego. And I don't know if it was because it was a new technology that they're insecure about, or if it was just we're still trying to get the hang of how do we sell smart stuff? How do we sell technology?
Yeah, it's with the collectibles market, because Lego, I mean, I love it or hate it, they are a part of the collectibles market, especially now, Pokemon involvement, all of that stuff.
Sure, yeah.
One of the biggest ways to win in collectibles is, best product or worst, hype is the thing. If they had just gone, it's balls deep with this and thrown in all the hype, did the coins, did the collectible cards, had all the displays, the full press push on day one, people would have got drawn in to the hype enough. It would have changed a lot of opinions, I think. It's
I want to agree with you on that. But the downside for me with that is because it was a Star Wars IP, the fan base is so strong with that all it takes is one solid followed fan to say, no, don't go. And people are like, oh, man, I shouldn't go. So there's a gray area to that with this type of IP. Yeah, if this would have been a city set, I think that the fan hype on this could have gone through the roof, and I think they could have debuted it with even more gusto than they even tried. So it's a double-edged sword. They picked what they picked. They did what they did. We're at where we're at with trying to figure this out now. So I don't think this is going to go anywhere anytime soon. I think the technology in this is solid enough that it will last. Is this going to be a here to stay type of play system? I don't know, but I definitely would look at it having a 10-year lifespan at least for what's in this, unless we have some major technological advances to change what we're doing. I think we got 10 years of play out of this.
How cool would it have been if Johnny Thunder did the rollout?
Right?
And introduced it as like the best way to explore your new toys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh man, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
A full like 20-minute Lego video movie. Johnny Thunder. Um, you know, having him pull out a 1x2 tile phone and connect to his car, and it'd be a smart brick car, and just doing all this type of stuff. That would, yeah,
Yeah, that
that
could
would
have
be
been a
cool.
lot of fun. Yeah. What's Smokey say here? Well, then don't make a bad and flawed product with a collector's IP like Star Wars, and don't hesitate on top of that. Yeah, I mean, so what was I thinking there? Oh, okay. So talking about advertising and whatnot, the there's two now. I didn't watch the second one. I sent you the first one there. The Star Wars smart brick like commercial
Yep.
trailer show thing.
It
I thought that was great. It's
showcases the product for sure,
Yep,
giving all of the sounds, all of the sets, and the interactive. And even though you can't hear what the words are said, it gave the full impressions of what it is.
yep,
So yeah,
yep,
100%. And if you guys haven't seen what we're talking about here, I'm sure he can throw a link in the video in the comments down there or whenever later,
yes.
so you guys can have the link to that video. But it's literally a Lego promotional video showing all of the sets and animations of what these things do and how they interact together.
Yep.
So
All right. I will put that somewhere. Um, I will share that later, so you don't leave and watch it and then don't come back.
definitely, and it'll be down in the comments when
Yep,
or in the write up of the show once we get done. We can add that in
yep.
after.
There you go. Oh, you get something you're sharing here?
Yeah, this was just a photo that was from the beta testing, um, which I think would have been phenomenal for them to use of how it interacted. You had animal sounds, you had people sounds, you had laughter and giggles and screams and all of the sounds like that were not necessarily saying lines, but it was this whole interactive ability, which I think would have been so much better received than trying to go, like Smokey says, with an IP of Star Wars. Um, but at the same time, with all due respect, Smokey, make a bad and flawed product. I don't necessarily see where the flaws are in the product and how it's been presented or used. Do I see issues with it not being true to iconic themes? Yes, I can understand that aspect of it, but I don't see the product being a flaw or bad. But that's my opinion, of course.
Now, I guess so. Flaw, I guess you could look at one of two ways. So Lego might say this product does exactly what we want. So there is no flaw there. This is just what we were shooting for, and this is what you get. Whereas you could say, I don't know, one of the sets that are out now, it's a pretty solid set. The only flaw is that they mix the smart brick stuff into it, which I guess I could see the argument there if that was your only problem with the set. There's no such thing as a set that its only problem is one thing that got added to it. But, you know, Lego Team B, hello.
Very good morning, I believe, to them.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, and I think I, the two largest complaints that I've had from Star Wars fans is that they very much dislike the set designs and how they don't look like what they're supposed to look like for the story. I can tell you right now, an X-Wing still looks like an X-Wing, even with a third of the parts missing off of it. It still looks like an X-Wing. It's iconic in its shape. It's iconic in its fact that the wings actually make an X. The Millennium Falcon, it's got the two mandibles right on the front. It's got the side cockpit. The Millennium Falcon looks like a Millennium Falcon. Does it look like a great one? No. Does it look like a collector's edition one? Not even close. But does it look like a Millennium Falcon? Yes. TIE Fighter. It's a TIE Fighter. It looks like a TIE Fighter. Does it have this half open canopy on the back? Yeah. Why? Because it's a play set so that you can have a trigger to fire lasers. It's open so that you can put a brick in and out of it. So that one, you can put it on a charger, but two, you can also use it for other things. So I understand the collector's perspective of it's not a collectible set for display purposes. I get that. And then, like we've already talked about the synthesized sounds and why they don't say the iconic voice lines. Those are the two largest complaints from Star Wars fans, which is respectable. But none of that factors in that it's bad technology. It's just disliked technology.
One highlight from the show the other night, I forget which of the ships it was. Yeah, Brent was saying that his impersonation of the sound was better than the actual smart brick sound. I forget if it was the X-Wing or the TIE Fighter, but his impersonation actually was better. I thought that was great. His version was so good.
Guys over at ACOB and their crew that they have, they're very Star Wars heavy, fan based, which I totally respect all that. And Sean actually is the one that made me think about my perspective of my opinion being contrary to their opinions in most respects, to them not liking a set, and why my perspective is more valid than their perspective. And that made me stop and think for a second. Yeah, my perspective is not more valid than their perspective. They dislike it for whatever reasons they dislike it. I just want to make sure that the information being put out to the fan base, the Lego fan base, is true to the technology and true to the sets, not generally opinion based on what it is. I don't like it because it's a Star Wars set that looks bad. Okay, that's a fair assessment. Saying I don't like it because the technology is bad, okay, justify that opinion with information to support that, not just because it doesn't say the iconic lines. Now, it doesn't say the iconic lines, so as a collector, you don't like it for that reason. Okay, I respect that.
So, Smokey, I don't think I get what you're saying here. If the brick lasts 2 hours and reacts to 3 different colors, how is it not flawed? Hey, Liam. So, are you saying because it doesn't do more, it's flawed?
Let me semi-address that. The dumb bricks that we have right now, like this right here, it's just some 1x1 bricks. They don't react to any
The good
colors.
stuff.
They don't last for 2 hours. They're infinite, but they don't do anything that the smart bricks do.
Yeah.
So they're different, but they're not flawed. Is the smart brick better than these? No. Are these better than the smart brick? No. They're different. That's the biggest thing for me, is it's a different way to play, not trying to replace one or the other.
There is something kind of perfect about like an original Lego brick, though. Like
For
in
sure.
its simplicity, and it, yeah.
Yeah, you can get endless play with a pile of bricks. That's That's why whenever you go to a Brick World show, our main brick pit area is nothing but one or technically two different colored bricks. We have red brick and we have green brick, and they are nothing but bricks, 2x4s and 2x2s. That's all those are. And there are some phenomenal builds from kids and adults right there in that pit by just building with dumb bricks in that environment. So they're building bridges, they're building pyramids, castles, sculptures. They're doing logos, they're doing names, they're doing all kinds of stuff with all of these bricks and stuff like that. So yeah, there's an iconic love for the original dumb Lego brick.
Yeah. Okay. So talking about bricks and like just the simplicity of the brick. The smart brick is a 2x4 brick with 2 plates added.
Yeah.
Is the size of that?
Added two 2x4 plates to it. That's the height. So it's 5 plates high by a 2x4 footprint.
Okay. Does that still function if you build it into something?
Yeah.
Like if you were to use it just as a brick.
I've actually taken a couple of my smart bricks and added some plates to them because this one goes in the TIE fighter and it goes up to the back of the cockpit to close the back of the cockpit in a little bit. It still functions. I still have my color sensor available right here. It still sees and reads everything. The light sensors, that's why this is a trans clear, is so that it can actually see through there if there's any light differences or things like that. And then the other aspect too is the speaker from the synthesizers is open along here. So the sound comes out around the whole circumference of it.
Cool.
So it still functions like a regular brick building over the top and stuff like that. There are several builders on Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that that have already rebuilt some of the sets into other ships. They took the Falcon and built it into the Hullcraft and put smart bricks in it for those purposes of being able to still have the smart play functions in this new design ship. So yeah, it's still definitely builds and works just like regular.
Okay. All right. That's good to hear. Because I mean, if they're going to call it, the smart brick, it should still function as a brick. So it's good to hear that you can still build it into things. Well, I suppose it's hard to charge that way.
And that's the thing is building it off of the top, like I did here, I can still pull it out as a brick and then set it and charge it. Now, if it was built in with a 2x6 or a 4x6 plate over the top of it, that plate would have to come off before I could get to the brick and stuff like that. So there is limiting factors in that regard. So if it does die or something like that, then you have to pull it out and recharge it and stuff like that. So that's just a given with that. But at the same time, you can use these things in builds to mock or stuff like that. Now, it does reduce the range of the antennas for them. So putting a tile above it, let me see. So I have the brick right here. If I take the tile and I put it above it, see, it's even above it, it's still there. I'm at least a brick off of it, and it's still reading it.
No, I can't hear it.
Can you hear it?
No. I believe you that it's happening. I can't hear it.
So, but yeah, you can still, it just reduces the field of its reception. So being able to interact between tiles and stuff like, if I do it here, you can see how the lights will actually light up when I do get it into a close enough proximity to it.
Oh, yep, there you go. Okay.
So, but yeah, so it having the brick, it's the brick density is what actually slows down the transmissions through stuff. So if you put more plates around it, it's going to be a little harder to get it to interact with other things. So that's the only downside. But is it still buildable? Yes, it is still buildable.
Okay, so Smokey's point up here, if the average playtime for a kid is 30 minutes, it takes 2 hours to charge. I mean, that is kind of a problem. That's a long charge time.
Point to that is I actually took the X-Wing, I made a video on it, and I put a brick in the X-Wing, and I actually took it out and flew it from one store to another store to another store with the brick on there, shooting lasers, flying it around, making all the sounds and doing all this stuff. And the whole purpose was to see how long I could go with playing with it, just flying it around and shooting lasers and doing that stuff before the battery died on it. And I went to the stores, and the whole purpose in going to the stores was to see where the sets were. So one, I'm playing with it. Two, I'm actually venturing out to multiple locations to find where they're at. I got an hour and a half of playtime out of it in just that capacity like that. Was it constant shooting the lasers and flying it like that? No, there was a couple times where I'd set it down for a few minutes and drive over to the next store, but I didn't put it on a charger. I didn't take it out of it. It was still a live battery, a live ship, where it was still, I still had a character sitting in front of it. So it still made character sounds as I was driving over to the next door or something like that. But an hour and a half time frame with that battery in it. So just like a kid, they set it down for a few minutes to go to the bathroom, get something to drink, have a snack, and then come back and play with it some more. So that 30, 45-minute window is if I sat down with it right here, and I'm literally just doing everything I can to burn that battery out. So take that for what it's worth. That was my experience with it. So I didn't see that 45-minute limit that everybody is pushing. That is the number that Lego put out as this is the minimum amount of time with ultimate play that the battery will last.
Yeah. It's the under promise, over deliver.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I do feel like 2 hours is still too long of a charge time. That seems excessive. I mean, my cell phone charges from 3% in like an hour.
Here's a catch to why I think it's like that. I think that they have a slow charge system on their pads. And the reason I think they have that is to try and extend the battery life in the bricks themselves. If you try to push too much power into the lithium ion batteries that are in these bricks, they can tend to swell or become less effective over time. So in order to maximize the lifespan of the bricks, I think that's why they went with the 2 hour charge time. It's a slow charge, not a fast charge. So we're not pumping them in. Right now, lifespan of phones, you're not looking for a 10-year lifespan out of a cell phone. You're looking for maybe 2-year lifespan at best, usually out of a cell phone. And those batteries pop out and, the whole phone gets recycled. So, the usability of what they're trying to create, I think that's what determined that 2-hour charge time.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if my phone lasts more than 2 years, then all of the tech and it's completely obsolete anyway. So
They stopped doing updates for it. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. The kid comes back 3 hours later. I mean, yeah, well, he should put his toys away before he goes and plays with his friends. That's
it says if there's limitations, there are flaws. I'm not going to fault. I'm not going to fault that. Yeah, there's going to be faults with everything, and a limitation definitely can be considered a fault. But then again, if I buy a Lego set and it doesn't have more pieces in it, that's a flaw. I want a bigger set. They charge me an extra 3 cents per piece. That's a flaw. I want cheaper bricks. So we can always find things that are problematic with stuff, but I don't necessarily think it's a bad product. It may have weaknesses, but I wouldn't call them flaws. Flaws would be it blows up on my charger, and while I'm sleeping upstairs or something like that. Those are the types of things that I consider flaws.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's I charge good money for myself, and I am very flawed. So
same. Liam, why can't we use any charging pad? I think from what I read in the information, the frequencies that all of the charging and everything happens on, or not charging, but interactions on, I think because it has 4 different antennas and stuff, the charging has to be a specific frequency and on the pad itself, the connection pad. So I tried several other proximity charges, and none of them would work for it. So I don't know what the proprietary uh, bandwidth or whatever is for the magnetic charging on it or what, but um, I'm still looking at it. Like I said at the very beginning of this, is some of the information that Lego uses for their system is proprietary, and that's not something I've been able to find yet.
Okay. All right. Well, it's good to hear that through trying other charging devices, you didn't ruin the smart brick. That's good
Yeah,
to hear.
no,
Because, every kid is going to try, just throwing it on whatever, wireless chargers in the house, just dropping it on
sure,
all
yeah.
that.
I've got a smartwatch that's up next to the phone. I'm gonna go up and put it on there and see if it'll charge it. No, yeah, it won't work on that either.
All right. Let me put this up here. Commitment to environment sustainability. Has there been any official comment from them on expected life, what can be recycled, and how that might be done?
Not directly, but if you buy one of the sets, they come with a pamphlet book here that is a smart play book. All of the information that I had already referenced and stuff like that talks about one, charging it and how it charges and all of the system and all of that. And then it gets really deep into all the regulations, the rules, how to properly dispose of them and all of that. So there is an entire instruction book of its own just for that question. So I still am reading through it. It is a lot of technical information, and it's in multiple languages, of course, for all of the countries that Smart Play has been introduced in. But it has references and numbers and locations of information and stuff like that, where you can go and find the specifications of what they're saying and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a lot of information. I'm still filtering through this because I didn't have this before. All I had was what the SEC filings and patents and that had in them. So
Just thinking about it, with these sets, they don't have the giant battery warning label on them. Well, unless they do, and I just haven't seen it. But that big label's not on there, right?
selves, that's simple. Look at it. Check the box here and see what the box actually shows. I'm in process of actually building the dual here as the final smart play system that I'm trying to work on. And let's take a look at what we show.
Yeah, it's not on there. I'm talking about the giant orange warning label.
Yeah, no,
they
it
had
does.
on
Yeah,
the-
it does. It does not have that on it.
Strange.
Yeah,
Why
no,
is it
it's.
okay to eat these batteries, but not eat the battery from the Home Alone house?
I'm going to make an assumption here, which we know what that means. But because of the pamphlet that comes is why it's not on there, because you literally can't get to the batteries in here without absolutely total destruction of the product.
Okay. All right. So it's not like a
So
smart brick where you can just pop it open and swap it out. Okay. I mean, sorry, not smart brick, a light brick. Okay. Oh. audio out and and he's off. Don't let bricks still have screws. Yeah, but I think you can bite through those, can't you? Do I have one handy? Oh, they're on the wrong side of the room. Yeah, I think you still do need to unscrew those. I haven't looked at one in a while. You back? Oh, I almost heard you. Oh, all right. He'll get to the bottom of this. Yeah, I think so. If I understand what he's saying there, the smart brick batteries are purely rechargeable, not replaceable or removable, maybe. They're not the whatever they are, the button batteries from a light brick kind of deal. I think that's how I'm understanding it. I don't know if that's right or not. Either way, I'm really happy to not see that big disgusting label on there. 'Cause they're just awful. I'm not a box collector by any means, but just seeing them on the shelf is upsetting, where there could potentially be this big, beautiful box. There's just big orange billboard instead. Oh, yeah, Reese's Law. That's what it is. Yeah, you know what? I'm just not going to make light of that because that was just a terrible situation. But also, don't eat batteries. Don't eat batteries. And isn't the Home Alone set and I think possibly Hocus Pocus too, weren't those 18 plus sets?
Just one more time to see if this works. Can you hear me?
Hey, all right, I can hear you.
You're
Can you
great.
hear me?
My microphone went out, so now I'm on the computer microphone. So I may sound a little distant. I'm not sure which mic I'm on right now. So
Okay. All right. Well, you sound all right. So good news.
okay, good to hear.
All right. Uh, they're not replaceable. Okay. All right. So yeah, we were still chatting about the battery situation, but I think we got that all figured out. You can't eat a smart brick battery, but you can eat a light brick
You
battery.
could eat it. It's just going to be very difficult to eat it.
Yep. Yeah. Either way, kids, don't eat batteries. Just don't do it. They don't even flavor them. So come on. I could understand if it tasted like, a Skittle or something. Because Skittles are kind of delicious. My God, I haven't had Skittles in years. All right, let's see. What else do I have here? So where do you think they take this next? Do they continue on with the path they're going and just kind of chip away one theme at a time with kind of a dull little murmur per release? Or do you think they start to try to grow the hype a little bit?
See, that's really hard to say because there was so much up in the air, and with this release of how it came out, uh, it could go any way they want right now of what they're going to do. I know of at least one more IP that's going to be getting Smart Play. It's going to be Marvel. It's going to be probably mid to late year that they're going to introduce some other IPs for Marvel. And I think with the reaction they got for Star Wars, I think they're scared they're going to get that same reaction for another IP like that. So I don't know if they're backtracking right now of let's do the city sets, let's do the regular town sets first, before we introduce these IP sets to at least get some traction on what else these bricks can do. But yeah, I honestly, I don't know. I know there's a Black Widow Quinjet set that is supposed to be coming. I don't know if she's associated with the Quinjet as a smart figure, or if it's going to be she's in one set and the Quinjet's in a separate set, or what. I haven't seen the full marketing for all of that yet. And again, I'm not a land member. This is all stuff that has been leaked and information that has been out there. Anyone else can find it the same way I can. But I dive deep and I go into black holes that most people don't see or look for. I hope they come out strong and give it the hype that it needs. But I don't know, something else that was talked about on that other stream that you were discussing earlier was the possibility of gameplay and what that is. And the guest host that was on there said, no, 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 they're not going to do something like that. And I am 100% in the opposite direction, saying, yes, they are. And the reason they are is because they filed patents, they filed SEC filings and stuff like this for the gameplay aspect of it. The game pad alone, that is a large desk pad that connects to an electronic device, a screen or an iPad or something like that, where you take your smart play set and you put it over this pad and you play the game over the pad, where all of the antennas and everything, it collects all that information, puts it in the game. So your game controller literally is the ship. So the way the smart bricks are, if you move it this way, it senses it. If it moves it this way, it senses it. If you go up, if you go down, if you swoosh like that, the smart brick senses all that. Just like if you were using a controller to move controllers, instead of it being an analog move, it is a fly-by-wire system of sensing the motions and stuff like that, and then translating that into the gameplay. Every single smart brick set that has come out has been very adamant about the firing systems are all red. So every time you hit a trigger for a laser, it's a red laser. It's a red trigger. No matter what ship it is, no matter what the function is, the function plays are red on all of them. You want to make the music brick dance in the cantina, it's a red toggle to make it move. So there's a standardized system in the smart play system, which logically wouldn't be needed if there wasn't going to be an extended system with it. Because you could literally take these sets and better hide all of the smart play features in them to make all the ships gray, all the ships white, all the pieces could be the same mold colors as these ships for the IPs. But instead they colorized all of them to standardize a system of play with these, which translates into gameplay.
So, all right. So my head kind of goes to Monopoly here, right? Or shoots and ladders. We use that as an example.
Okay.
Now, say you had like the plates built into the shoots and ladders board of sorts, and then your character was, I don't know, the Jurassic World Jeep that had a smart brick in it. As you would to drive it around the board, if you were to land on a ladder, it could make a ladder sound as you drove the Jeep up it. Simple things like that. And there's been Lego games in the past, board game type stuff, right? So it would be very simple for them to incorporate things like that. And to the point where it seems like a no-brainer, like you're saying, right? Yeah.
The
Okay.
systems of play that they've had in the digital past before with NVIDIA, what, how do you say it? The music video one that they had for a little while.
Video. Yep.
Yeah, video. And then they had the Horizon sets or Dimension sets
Mhm.
And then they have the Mario system. This encompasses a lot of those types of technologies all into one type of system. So the tile reading, it was barcodes with Mario. Now it's RFIDs. The Mario figures are virtually the same as these, but they've been modified down to a point where they've taken out the voice activations and the screens and literally just took the core or the heart out of a Mario because it reads, it activates, and it moves. And then from there, it interacts with the others. So now you have a figure. So it's not in the Mario, it's separate from the Mario. So now you could bring a Peach over, you could bring a Mario over. We just got rumor that they were going to do a Mario figure line
Oh
of
yeah.
standard minifigs.
Yeah.
Would it be possible that they partially come out as smart figs? Possible.
Mm.
I don't know. Could it be an update to the Mario line and how that plays out? Changing over from the larger Mario figures, which are now outdated, over to the new smart figure style with the Mario. So now it's optical reader starts reading the barcodes, or they change it over to RFID tags. I don't know. There's a lot of opportunities to do stuff.
So today's Wednesday. Monday night, we had a private call in our Discord group, and we were talking about all of the Mario Kart sets that are retiring this year. It's the end of Mario Kart. After all of the waiting and all of the hype, they finally do Mario Kart in 1 year or whatever, and they're all gone. I guess it would make sense for them to do it in minifig scale with Smart Play, right? Now it's I
It would lean right into having gameplay as well with
yeah,
the smart figures and all of that through Nintendo. That would then also encompass Animal Crossing, because Animal Crossing is a Nintendo product as well. So now
yeah.
you could take the Animal Crossing sets and start producing smart play Animal Crossing sets as well. So
And Animal Crossing sets were already so expensive. If they stuck smart bricks in there, nobody would even notice.
range pretty close to the same. I agree with you on that 100%.
Yeah. I mean, they were just paying for the molds is how I figured it.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Royalties to Nintendo.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not an Animal Crossing person, so I didn't get that from the start. But it seemed weird that they put all of the money into all of those new molds, and then they seem to have done so little with it. I don't know if they didn't get the sales they'd hoped for, which I'm guessing was because of the pricing or what happened. But
The I can't speak from an educated perspective on this other than my opinion on thought just from history and past. But I think a lot of it was Animal Crossing was so digital that the physical side of building the sets um, kind of lost its meaning and its interest to people, because they could do more literally in game than they could with the Lego sets with what was provided. So they needed to
okay,
really put more into the sets that they didn't do initially, because they didn't know what their market was for who they were selling the sets to begin with.
okay,
I think they kind of went with a 4+ style mentality when creating the Animal Crossing sets, with unfortunately an adult Lego fan base that was the ones that were doing more of the gameplay.
all right. Now, what would the reference even be here? Um, Animal Crossing is just it's not as nerdy version of Minecraft, isn't it? It's kind of
See,
the same. Yeah.
Animal Crossing is very different than the Minecraft style of play.
Okay.
Animal Crossing is a lot more community based type play than the builder style of play. You deal
Okay.
with a lot more aesthetics than structure in Animal Crossing than you do with Minecraft. In that regard, Minecraft is a very build your entire world, where you don't build the world so much, but you modify it into a habitat for all of your Animal Crossing characters and stuff like that. So it
Okay.
it has a lot of same principles, but it's a completely different version.
Okay. All
Lego
right.
Team B's comments over there. I'm defending it adequately for the differences between them. So,
Okay.
and no, Mark will not be summoned. Mark is preparing for his own live stream this evening to play Animal Crossing. He had a very long weekend with the Lego show and all that, so he's looking forward to his Animal Crossing tonight.
Okay. All right. So I picture like the architect versus the interior designer.
Yes. Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a fair assessment between the two. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I work in the trades, so I tend to relate things like that. So okay, that makes much more sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
the and it's not just an interior designer, but you've got the architect that actually has to factor in the foundation, the blueprints, and all of the facility or the utilities that have to go into it and all that. Where with Animal Crossing, you're the landscaper and the interior designer that's going to do all of the aesthetics for the property.
Okay.
If that helps the perspective a little.
All right. Now I suddenly think that everybody playing Minecraft, I mean Animal Crossing, needs to wear an apron and Crocs. It's the cleaning and gardening.
I
I
got
just
you. Yeah.
picture my grandmother. She always put her Crocs in the dishwasher. That was
Yeah.
her thing. I love that. Oh man,
Actually,
she's the best.
that is a very prominent item in Animal Crossing is Crocs to be
Oh
able to
yeah,
wear them around the island and stuff like that. So yeah,
that's so
so
funny. Oh, and now there are Lego Crocs. So the whole thing is just one big circle now.
it is a big circle, yes.
Yeah.
So
So the new Crocs. Now I personally just don't like Crocs. Personally, I don't care.
yeah,
Everybody else wear them. Have a good time. I hope everybody enjoys them. But I was actually really happy to see that they did normal Crocs, and you can go and buy
Six.
what are they called? The gibbets or something like that, the little
Yeah,
button.
yeah, Gibbets, yeah.
That's cool because people wanted those, and they're actually giving people something they want. So that's great. And the price points I don't think are awful.
Well, that's one of the
Yeah.
nice things too is with those Gibbets is if you already have Crocs, you can buy the Gibbets and put them in your Crocs.
Yeah.
Not only that, but now Lego also has the standardized Lego Crocs, not the giant brick. Why did they even do that promotional stuff? But they have regular Crocs
Yeah. And
that
they're
have that
actually
Lego
kind of cool
band that
looking.
wraps around them. I'm gonna throw myself out there. I'm gonna get a pair. I'm gonna get the white ones with the multicolor around them. I'm gonna wait and see if they yellow like white brick does, but we'll see. But no, I can tell you right now that after going to a Lego show, you've been to them, you've been to Brick World. At about 6 o'clock in the evening, you want to kick off the shoes that you have and put on something more comfortable, but you don't want to stop yet. So you're still going to be walking around or something like that. So for me, that's where those Crocs are going to come in. Is after I spend a day down on the showroom floor doing events and play bricks and all of the stuff that I do at the shows, I'm going to go up at 6 o'clock, kick off my shoes, throw on those Crocs, and then head back down just to relax, have fun, and just hang out with people and stuff like that. So you'll see them.
Is Crocs and Smart Play a lost opportunity?
Well, you might be able to actually integrate a lightsaber tile, a smart brick, and your Crocs, and then be able to literally kick it like a lightsaber.
Amazing. Oh, yeah.
Lego Team B, you're lucky that you're not in the other stream with us at the Brick World Brick Crossing one because we've banned for less.
So funny. Oh,
So Ken, after everything that we've talked about with the smart play tonight, what what was your initial opinion? And did anything I say tonight change that? Um, strengthen your opinion, or do you, or has it made you think I'm full of a load of crap?
so my initial opinion when I first heard about smart play was I hated it and I was dead set against it. I did not like the idea of tech being involved with Lego. I've hated it every other time they've tried to do it, and I didn't want it now. The I still mostly feel that way just because, like, just simply that. I like that it's the one thing in my kid's life that has no technology attached to it at all, other than reading, right? But I don't think it has scrapped all of the imagination that goes into Lego. I don't think it has hurt that the way I'd expected it to. So that's good. And when you first talked about it on the Think Outside the Blocks, when I first heard you talk about it there, that changed my mind about it a lot then. Because there were a lot of things I hadn't thought about and a lot of different angles there. And now talking tonight, I see some of the fun options and possibilities there. Now, I think Lego is Lego, and they're still not going to handle it properly. There's going to be a lot of problems, and it's going to be too expensive. But I do think that there is great potential there if they were to do it properly. And over time, maybe they will, and they can. They certainly have the ability to do it. And a lot of that will be opinion based. Like it will just be things I don't necessarily like, looking at it as from the lens of a parent. Because that's all I care. These sets they're not built for me. They're never going to be. So I look at them from a parent's perspective. Is this at a price point I'd be willing to pay for the time my child is going to put into it? Like, are they going to lose interest after a few minutes, or are they going to love it and sink a lot of time in? We'll see how that goes. I look at it as like, is it going to benefit them in some way? Gameplay, I think, could have a lot more benefit than Lego play, like it building interaction.
How it interacts is definitely
Yeah,
going to define it in that regard. Whether or not it's a activity-based gameplay and not just sitting on a sofa with a controller will definitely define the Lego gameplay aspect of it monumentally compared to normal gameplay.
yeah,
So when that happens, if they don't scrap it or anything like that, we'll see. They profess that this is a get your kids off of electronic devices. So I think the interactivity of building and playing, because the opportunity is to try and get kids to play more with Lego, but at the same time, it's a digital age that we're in, and everything is digital these days. So
yeah,
being able to have a happy medium between the two, I think, is where Lego is trying to strive to get into that gray area of those.
yeah. I mean, if they take the better parts of the stunts theme when that was around,
Yeah.
mix that with minifig scale Mario Kart, I think you have a great product. I think that's something that the kids can play with. The sound effects can be silly. We don't need any actual dialogue, and I think it would be a blast. And then they're building an actual course and they're crashing shit all over the house, and I'm all for it. It's a well-intended disaster. I'm happy. So,
Hope that Lego actually listens to the community on this for what, not just the pushback that they're getting from putting them in IP sets, but watching what people are doing with them to repurpose them into other things. To say, okay, maybe we missed the mark on putting it in Star Wars or Marvel or some of these very strongly fan based IPs where we should be able to say, um, it's available for these types of things if that's the direction they want to go to keep it valid in the Lego community. So
yeah.
but
Oh
we'll
man,
see.
what was it? The stunts, the little, like, I don't know, whatever they were. I don't even think they were $10. I think they were less than that. They had like the bathtub race car and all of
Yeah.
these silly little sets.
Yep.
If those had smart play integration to them somehow, I think that would have been awesome. Okay, what's Sean say here? Well, first of all, hello, Sean. My son picked the dual set this weekend from Grandpa. He's played with it every day for a bit. Main playing feature probably would have worked either way. Okay, so well, good that he's playing with it, and that one does look fun. Is there any added joy because of the smart play, like the actual sound?
It's another element to it. In Star Wars, having the actual sound of lightsabers, I think it's kind of a gray area right now because we all have that sound in our head if we've seen the movies. Now, some
Yep.
of the younger people that are building and seeing it, if they haven't seen the movies, they don't have those sounds ingrained in their heads. I'm a Gen Xer, so I grew up Star Wars in theaters, not on VHS or DVDs. So, but yeah, no, it's some of it's ingrained in us. Some of the younger ones are. This is their introduction to it. So being able to have those sounds, then they watch the movie. It will relate the movie to this already. So it's kind of a gray area.
It's smoky. It partially taints or ruins a kid's Christmas. Batteries not included. In this coming year, it will be smart brick not included.
That would be
Yes.
a great idea is to do a batteries not included with smart play as a a theme with it, so you could actually make sounds and the batteries not included with
Oh,
batteries.
who posted it? Somebody. I don't know. I forget who it was. Somewhere on the socials. They actually changed the images on Amazon. So the smart play sets that don't come with a brick, it is very clearly labeled in the images now to let you know that
Yeah, that
it's
was
not
early
going to be there.
feedback of consumers buying sets and then finding out and posting that in reviews that it didn't come with a smart brick and stuff like that. So yeah, big faux pas on Lego marketing for not making that more clear.
Yep.
They could have very easily done the packaging itself. If it came with a smart brick, it was black boxing, and if it came without, it was a yellow boxing or something like that. Just literally a whole totally separate color system for their box sets. Non-play gets one color. If you get a brick, it comes in this color or something like that, just to help clarify. But
Yep. Yep. That's a real valid point. A $40 truck for $60 is going to be hard to swallow, including the smart brick in there. I mean,
very true.
and I get it. If you're calling the smart brick a $20 value, then you put it in there. I mean, it makes sense to charge 60, but it's still really only a $40 truck. So yeah, that gets to be hard.
I really wish everyone would stop saying sell the brick standalone. They never will. Maybe in the distant future they may, but it would be a pick a brick type wall item or from Lego Direct or something like that. But
Yeah.
right now, the retail value on the Smart Brick on Bricklink is a 25 average dollar price on it. Plus, you need a charger. Now, Ken, for you, you sell on Bricklink. Would parting out the sets like that be of any interest to you in that regard?
I don't know. I mean, so I guess that's going to be up to time and see how it goes over time, and I'll keep an eye on it, because with the concern of the quality of the smart figs, if nobody wants the smart figs, then I'm just left with a whole bunch of pieces. I can get those out of much cheaper sets. So I mean, I'll be watching it.
So the only cost side for you would be the bricks and tiles themselves, not even necessarily the figures.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if I part out, I mean, we'll talk Star Wars here because that's what's available. If
Sure.
I part out a normal Star Wars set, I want at least 50% of the value to be in the minifigures for it to work out well. If we're looking at the smart figs, I have no idea. I can't predict because they're so new. I'm pretty sure some of the Whatnot guys have to be selling them by now because those guys are unbelievable. They sell everything instantly all the time. It's amazing to watch.
Something I actually haven't even looked into yet on Bricklink is what the figs prices are going for on Bricklink. My main concern was with tiles and chargers and bricks in that regard for just the because if you have sets that don't have those things, those are the main things you have to have in that regard. So charger at 15 to 20 bucks, and then the bricks themselves at 20 to 25 a piece, give or take, depending on where you're buying from. So
all right. Yeah, it's I'll start watching that. Last I looked, they didn't even have the full inventory up on some of those sets. That's one of the really irritating things about Bricklink is, obviously they're owned by Lego at this point. So when a set is released, the full inventory of the set should be instantly available on Bricklink. And it's not.
I just pulled up Bricklink, and the first four figures that are featured items, Darth Vader, Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, and Yoda. Vader's a 1308. Leia is at 1358. Luke is Farm Boy Luke is 762, and Yoda's a $16 figure.
Really? Okay.
So.
Yes, sir. All right. Good night, Sean.
Sean, you have a good evening.
Tomorrow night.
Thanks for stopping in.
The Odele Dorado. Wow, that's actually a fun one to say. Awesome. Greedo is probably good.
It's more than him. Greedo is a $12.79.
Nice.
Smart Han Solo is $14.53. And so is Pilot Luke. Chewie's the same.
Yeah.
Kenobi, $16.36.
Wow.
And Smart 3PO, $15. Here's your high dollar one right here. The Wicket is $18.
What?
$18.45 for a Smart Wicket.
All right, I'm gonna have to message Hive about that later.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be a struggle for me to get excited about buying any Star Wars minifigure for the sake of resale while that beautiful new Zeb is out there. Because that is so good. And I mean, that's not in that line. But
ATST driver is a $15 figure.
The which one?
The ATST driver.
Okay. Wow, it's actually surprising for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fig of the year, I think, is that Zeb. It's so good, and it's behind a high paywall for the sake of just parting out. But that one's really good. That might be one of the few minifigures I actually buy for myself. Possibly the only one I've ever bought for myself. Yeah, I think so. Well, the only non-custom, I should say.
A-Wing fig is going for about $25
Wow.
average out of the dual set.
Huh. And that's funny because that's not a smart fig.
Yeah, that's probably why he's going for as much as he is. He doesn't have any of the other printing or any of that stuff. So
now, can you buff off the trash can?
you probably could on all of the printing on it, because it's all surface printing, pad printed just like anything else. The arms come off, so you can have access to the complete side of him, as well as his back printing. It's not like it's laser etched in, from what I can tell. So it's not like it's scribed in it to have any texture or damage. So yeah, you probably could. But the only downside to that is then you have an unmarked smart figure to be confused with a standard figure if it's the same printing.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking it's the back of the smart fig. It is what it is. But just the idea of having a trash can printed on a minifigure.
It's not as visible as you think when you're actually doing things with it and stuff like that, because most of your arm positions, this is where you're at with the arm position. So
all right, so you don't even notice it in that case.
Yeah, it's the back print is very vibrant, but they're almost ghost prints on the side, so you don't really notice it as much. So with this arm even up, you can see a little bit here. I'm trying to get the camera to focus a little bit.
Yeah, that's still not bad though.
So, but yeah, the side printing is minimal as a distraction and stuff like that. The trash can is almost non-relevant in what you see, where the trademark dating and information on the side over there is more visible than the trash can. So
okay, all right. Say that's really deceiving when you see it in like the still shots, which I guess part of the point there is for you to see it in those shots, right? Okay. Okay, one question before I roll. BDB, what set are you enjoying the most?
the number one set that I'm enjoying the most is the one that didn't come with the smart bricks, but should have. It has 4 spots for them on the Millennium Falcon. It's small enough that I can one-hand it to fly it and move it around, and then manipulate all of the other controls with the other hand. So the Millennium Falcon by far is my favorite set of these. But as a static set, Yoda's hut is pretty pimp for what it is, as a Yoda house. So that one's pretty cool on its design. It's a pretty well thought out display. So, but yeah, the Millennium Falcon has been the most fun for me. I even spent an hour and a half, like I said earlier in the show, flying the X-wing around at stores and stuff like that, and the interactions I had with people of what I was doing, why I was doing it, and stuff like that. Just asking about the set and what it was, and then literally going to flying the X-wing to where the sets were at the stores, and then showing them what it was and stuff like that and what it was doing. That those interactions were just fun in and of itself as an adult. But they swoosh pretty good. They're good kid swoosh sets. I definitely see the durability and the build quality of the sets for dropping it on a carpet floor or something like like that, and being able to reassemble the small things that do come off. For the most part, it stays together. So
Okay.
there's some serious um, build quality in these, as opposed to display sets like what I have on the shelves behind me.
Okay. Well, that's good. So they're actually, you know, built for their intended audience.
Yes, that is very true.
Okay. Yeah. We unfortunately, where my daughter displays all of her Lego, she has to climb up on the couch to get to it, which keeps it safe from her little sister, right? Occasionally, those things don't make it past the couch and they go down on the ground. And you
Yeah,
can very quickly tell where in the age range they were based on how they react to the impact. It's like, oh yeah, that was a 4+ set, and that one clearly was not, as there's, you know, dots all over the house.
digging into the sofa to find the pieces that went between the cushions and down underneath inside the frame of the couch. And yeah,
Yeah,
oh, I totally get that.
yeah. Meanwhile, the little one's taking some of the studs and, you know, trying to slide them into her straw. And it's like, just, oh, why are you so small?
Just trying to get
Stop.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Somehow, neither one of them has ever really put a Lego in their mouth, which is incredible. But they're kids and they're dumb and they put them everywhere else. All right. Man, I really need glasses. Let's put this up on screen. This has probably been asked before. Wondering what you two think the next theme the Smart Bricks would be added next, if they keep producing sets with them, and give some feedback on why. You said Marvel next.
I'm pretty confident it'll either be City or Marvel. And the reason I say that is because I've already seen um, those uh, in leaked images. So I know that they're out there. Whether or not there's others out there that just haven't been leaked due to whatever reason. But yeah, Marvel is definitely going to be coming. I don't know how soon. I know with the movie releases and stuff coming this year, it may happen this year. Spider-Man's been a big hype on sets recently with new sets coming, and then Doom. I know what our Marvel theme this year is looking like for their advent calendar. So the possibility of what those sets are going to be, uh, we'll see. But I really hope they do City next to solidify the smart brick in the Lego community of what it can do. That or creator sets. Have a smart brick creator set where you can actually do some of the stuff that they debuted in general playability at CES.
Now, okay, so because of the way the sounds work in the Smart Brick, could they make animal sounds?
Sure, they could.
Like
Yeah, it's
proper animal sounds?
pretty closely simulated synthesized sounds, I'm sure.
Okay.
You could probably go to Google and find synthesized animal sounds to verify
Okay.
what they, how many bit sound bites and stuff like that for a synthesized animal. Birds, probably monkeys, cow, horse, stuff like that.
All
So
right. Because it sounds like it's a missed opportunity not putting these in Jurassic World sets where you don't need actual like dialogue. You just need dino sounds. And
they're
little boys want dinos and dino sounds. It seems like a
pat-
no-brainer.
patent filings. They actually used uh, depicted dinosaurs with the smart bricks and tiles as demonstration pieces for the patent filings. So
Cool.
seeing them in Jurassic Park sets, I'm sure will come. It's just a matter of not having seen any of that yet. But in the patent filings, they actually had a Stegosaurus as a dinosaur that interacted with smart tiles, where it actually had a location where you put a smart tile on the stegosaurus, and then the smart brick went on it as well.
Okay.
So
Yeah. That seems like it would be fun. And
sure.
some of those dinos are big enough that you basically have it straddle the smart brick, and you don't even really see it at that point, right?
Well, you see how the smart bricks even have studs on the tops there. So if
Yeah.
you had a spot in the bottom of the belly where you literally just took this and snapped it up into the dinosaur,
Mhm.
and it had a spot for the tile right there next to it, it would not be a problem whatsoever to put it into the body of a dinosaur. And now your
Yeah.
dinosaur is a smart figure, if you will.
Yeah. That's cool. So which is it Baryonyx Escape? Yeah. Whichever one had the ship or the crane attachment for raising and lowering the dinosaur into the ship. You just
Sure,
have
yeah.
the smart brick with the dino being lowered into the ship. That'd be kinda
Yeah.
cool. Or lowered onto a smart brick, I suppose would have the same effect. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, there is definitely potential for fun with this, I think, and, we'll see what happens. I mean, I agree with Smokey's point earlier. I would certainly like to see these things charge faster
Yeah.
because, if
Well, I can totally back that up because that's one of the reasons that I have 3 charging pads here as
then
well, is for that
it
purpose.
yeah, I mean,
So
very easy to forget to put these things on charge,
oh,
at the
yeah.
end of the night. It's kids, it's an oversight. You're not in the habit of putting Lego on a charger yet, things like that. But yeah, I mean, there's some issues. It's one thing to, laboratory test and, test in, a closed audience, whatever. But those are people that are too close to the product. When you get it in the fans' hands and get it on the market for a while, you get the real test.
So I watched a YouTube short earlier today of a lady that was trying to demo the Cantina set, and she took the smart brick and put it into the slot for the band, and she would go to one side, and she expected it to just start the song and play the song the whole way through, not realizing that you had to go back and forth, and the motion is what actually kept it activated to play the music. So there's a
Mhm.
lot of things that are going to be trial and error for consumers, not having an advertisement program that shows it like commercials used to do. Of
Mhm.
You would know how to use a product by watching the commercial,
Yeah.
where now you're not going to learn that unless you're watching influencers.
Yeah.
And with influencers, they're like, "Oh yeah, I bought this and I didn't like it. This is crap. I didn't, and they don't talk about how it works or how it functions. They're like, "Oh, you have to do this." And they don't do it, or they do it halfway to show that it is bad, when if you do it a different way, it's good. So, let me show you the cantina and what I'm talking about. So, the the little band section here. I got into my other cantina and I pulled a couple extra band figures, so I have some extra band figures there. But if you take the brick and it has a spot back there, you can see that nice red tile back there.
Yep.
You put it in here. See how well you can hear this.
I can't hear it. No, it didn't pick that up. I think I see a light flashing.
But yeah, the speed at which you move it, the lights will change.
Weird. So Lego Team B's here. You might need to turn off any noise reduction on your mic. So I think while you were talking
Yeah.
and it was making a sound, you could hear it a bit while you were talking. Like your voice did something with the microphone to allow that sound to pass through.
Look real quick and see if I just do this nice and quiet and talk very softly. I don't know if you can hear anything or is.
Yeah, I think it actually picks something up just a little bit while you do that.
Okay.
That's funny. Just
So,
sub to Brick
yeah,
Dynasty. Beautiful. Thank you.
You can, once you get it going with the motion and stuff like that, you can actually get it to play the song pretty well.
Okay.
But it's a matter of getting the motion started to a point where you can actually play with it. And what happens is people will go one side and not go back and not move it and just jiggle it just ever so slightly just to get that motion so that the brick thinks it's dancing.
Yeah.
So, and that's an operator error thing. It's just you don't know how until you play with it long enough to actually be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, two big things there. First, especially since it is a toy and a play feature, you want to encourage that. So that's actually a positive, I think. And you do not want it to continue to play purely based on proximity. Because if it were to do that, you'd kill your battery, because inevitably the kid would just, put the minifigure or whatever directly on top of the smart brick and leave the room. And then it would just play itself out until it was dead. And then, again, in that position, it's not on a charger. And then for sure it's dead when they come back.
Well, that's why it does have a timeout mode. So that's why you literally have to take it to a point where you pick it up and you have to shake it to wake it.
Yep.
Is because it has a timeout sensor on it. So that way, if you do forget it next to something, if it doesn't have any motion or proximity sensing within a certain period of time, it goes into a sleep mode.
That's cool. Yeah. So there are some pluses there.
Now, I will say there is a downside to it too, and that is that it does have a parasitic drain on it just sitting off of it. So after a day of not use, if it's not on a charger, it will be dead the next day. So
Okay.
they still need to go onto the charger. But if I put it in a game or in one of the play sets, and I go and I play with it for 15, 20 minutes, and then we're going to the grocery store. So I got to go with mom to the grocery store, and it's 2 hours later. I come back, I can pick it up, take the brick out, shake it to wake it, and then play for another 30 minutes.
Okay.
So it still has that type of play feature. And then after I get done with that 30 minutes of play, I put it on the charger and I'm good to go for tomorrow.
Now, the charger, it's a charging mat. Is that what it is?
It's actually just a small charging pad. I got one right here. I'll show you. It's a yellow brick pad. It's got a little divot here where you place your bricks in. And then it's got a standard USB-C connection here in the back. And it only will connect if it is inside this charging base here. So,
it's a shame they didn't put any studs on it.
Yeah, I suppose, but you can cheat it a little bit and actually get 3 bricks on it to charge. You can't Bluetooth it to your device, but you can get 3 bricks charging in the tray ever so slightly. So if you kind of just wedge them in like this, you can actually get 3 to charge on a single pad. But yeah, I played with it to see how close or how limited a range it has for that charge function to be able to do that.
So if you charge 3 at once, does it take 3 times as long for the charging to happen?
Same
I don't know how.
rate.
Yeah.
No, same charge rate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
That's
all
cool.
based off of the proximity to the charge pad The standard charge time is standard charge time. Uh, it's just that divot area is designed for 2 bricks with a little leeway around them, so they're not sitting against each other the whole time. But yeah, you could kind of get 3 bricks on there at the same time to charge them. So
Okay. It's a shame you can't just stack the bricks and have it charge like a daisy chain. It just work its way through.
for sure, yeah, right.
You got a mega charger, just like,
Yeah,
it's
5
27
bricks
bricks or
stacked
something.
tall. Yeah,
Yeah.
1 charger, 5 bricks. Yes,
The
daisy chain through 'em.
the brick charging like mini fridge that they had there, that thing was crazy.
Yeah, that was yeah. If you've been to a Lego store and seen their smart display, they literally have a brick cabinet that is uh, what probably about 20 chargers with 2 bricks per charger, and yeah, that way they can get through a shift with enough charged bricks
That's
to demo
bananas.
for
A
everything.
shift. Yeah. Yeah, I actually haven't been to my Lego store since these sets came out. I'll have to do that soon. It's time and opportunity. Yeah. The new
Perfect to
store
go.
is
And
1 street away.
big thing for me is if I go to a Lego store is going in, keeping my mouth shut, and listening to them talk to see if they're enthusiastic about the product that they're trying to sell. Do they find the value in it, or are they, oh yeah, they want me to talk about it? Well, are you a fan of Lego, or are you not a fan of Lego? Are you an IP exclusive type fan? um, it whether or not a product is successful comes down to a lot of its sales and marketing. And if you don't have salespeople that are marketing it correctly or selling it correctly, then it's not going to sell also. So that's another downside to it is some people work at Lego stores because they're IP fans for specific themes at Lego. So they, if you give them a product that they don't like because they're a product fan of that type of theme, they're not going to be motivated to want to sell it because they think it's bad from their perspective. So,
Yeah. I think anytime you go to the Lego store, you want to find the second biggest nerd in the store and talk to him. That's my mindset. Because if you find the
see, that,
biggest nerd in the store, he thinks he owns the place, and
I
they're
got to
hard to
find the
handle.
second biggest though.
Yep. Yeah, because they're there for, it's like the love of the brick and the employee discount. And I can appreciate that. And God bless him for dealing with kids and terrible questions all day.
Now, has there been anything on Smart Brick that we haven't covered tonight?
Let's see. Let's see. All right. So we went through all of that. Yeah. So I guess the last big one, and we've touched on the community a little bit.
Yeah.
What is your biggest take on the community reaction as a whole? How are people handling it? Is it just the loudest mouth sucking up all the oxygen? Are they overshadowing the actual opinion? Or is it pretty divided? Or what are you seeing out there?
It's a mix. You have a lot of quieter AFOLs that see the value in it, see the potential in it, and see the benefit of it, but they're not the type to be as outspoken to get their perspective out there and say, hey, you need to consider these types of things. The biggest downside to this type of a product is the negative influence from the loud ones that are saying how bad it is based on their opinion due to collectability type reasons and stuff like that, which does damage to the product as a whole, not just the IP that they're trying to protect. And that's the hardest part of whenever I'm faced with someone that is being negative about it, I try to ask them two questions. The first question is it the set design or the technology that you don't like? And if they say it's the set design, then I say that's an IP issue because it's about the sets. It's not about the technology. If they say it's the technology, then my question is, what is wrong with the technology compared to other technologies Lego's included before? So that way I have two separate ways that I can address their concerns with knowledge, not opinion, but knowledge to help clarify, not necessarily change their mind, but clarify their opinions as to why they don't like it. I'm not going to tell someone they're not allowed to like something or dislike, or they're not allowed to like or dislike something purely based on my opinion. I want them to, unfortunately, I want them to justify factually to me why they don't like it so that I can see their perspective and then agree with them that they don't like it for this reason. If they like it because they don't like it, that's justifiable. They don't like it because they like Star Wars and they don't feel like this is Star Wars. Okay, that's justifiable. I can respect that. But don't try to then tell other people that it's a bad product because you don't like it because you like Star Wars and this doesn't seem like Star Wars to you. Be able to justify to them what's bad about it so that then they are informed about why it's bad. If you don't like the set design for it, okay, spout to it because it's a bad Star Wars design, then spout out from the tops of the mountains. It's a terrible Star Wars set, but the technology is good. The technology has potential. The technology would be good in this, that, and the other thing. But don't say the technology is bad because the set is designed terribly, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So in the community, I think it's a mix right now. I don't think there's enough people. I think as more people get to play with it and see it and interact with it, I think the positivity of it will rise as it continues.
Now, it is also possible that somebody can hate the set and the technology, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, and I can see that. I mean, the cool part about opinions is people can have them, and you can just not give a shit what their opinion is. And I like that, you know. And I get what you're saying about, it's the loud opinions swaying other people and, being bad for the product itself. That gets a little tricky though, because yeah, loud opinions can sway people, but people also need to learn how to develop their own opinions. And that goes far beyond Lego. That's just society as a whole.
Yeah, exactly.
But this isn't that kind of show. If people are priced out, you were only adding to the detractors' points and arguments. That is also fair, So
I agree with Smokey on that 100%. I think Lego as a whole is overpriced to the point where it is more of a padding pockets of Lego, the Lego group itself, and the price of Lego could be a lot cheaper, except for the fact they're trying to increase their profit margins exponentially. So could Lego be cheaper as a whole? Yes. Would that reduce the set prices on smart bricks as well? Absolutely.
So I'm never going to fault a company for making a lot of money, because that's why you're in business.
That's the
They're
whole
not they're not a charitable
capitalism.
organization, right? And I don't remember which platform it was. Oh, it was on Twitter, X, whatever, recently. It's like, so since Mattel Brick Shop started, or since Mattel Brick Shop announced, we have seen releases from One Piece, Pokemon. We got word that Yu-Gi-Oh is coming, Dragon Ball Z. The Simpsons are back. SpongeBob is coming again. So let's see. The Lightning McQueen set came out. We got the DeLorean and Speed Champions. You know, we got Snoopy. We've got more Zelda. We've got more Lord of the Rings. Like, we're getting Mario minifigures. And it's like, okay, so they're making a lot of money. Can you name another massive IP that Lego has not got their hands on at this point? They're absolutely dominating everything. And anything anybody's asked for, they've basically made available at this point.
When enough money is thrown in any one direction, it will sway that direction. So if you follow the money, that's the direction it's going to go. And if Lego wants to monopolize their company as the premium toy creator, they're going to buy access to every IP they can to then produce that product. So how many secondary market brick companies like Brickcraft or Mattel or any of those excuse me, are going to try and produce IPs, like Brickcraft doing Family Guy or some of the other sets that they do. They've got Peanuts or some of the classic Christmas figures and stuff like that. Just trying to make their way. Lego's going to buy up everything they can to put those types of companies out of business because they won't have an availability to ideas or IPs or thought process without having to do original content stuff, which was Lego's whole thing for a while, was being their own. The Ninjago theme is Lego's own IP, if you will.
Yep.
And it's pretty much grown into its own at what, we're at 15 years now, right? So why Lego has stepped away from its own originality so much is kind of something that irks me and always has since well, probably since the 80s and 90s, when they started pulling in a bunch of IPs to make stuff like that to stay current in pop culture. But there was a comment up there earlier from Smokey about applying and implementing the land properly. I think that is a major aspect of marketing. Is it, you call it the Lego Ambassador Network, but it's not. It's the Lego Advertising Network, because that's what 90% of the land members do. And the whole purpose of the land to begin with was to have ambassadors out there in the community, in the play environments, going out to schools, going out to events, going out to things, interacting with the kids with these bricks and with these sets and stuff like that. Where now there is less than a handful of Lego ambassadors that actually do that. 90% of them are content creators that once they're at a point, they don't even want to interact with the public anymore because they're popular and they get the lights, they get the videos, they get all of the information, and now they can't walk around in public and interact with the public because they're signing autographs, they're taking pictures, they're signing Lego sets, they're doing all of these things as a fan base rather than actually doing what the land was designed to be, which was an interactive. So there's a step back that's going to the Lego user groups as recognized Lego user groups for a push to get them more out in the public to interact and do events and do interactives and all of those types of things that the land was supposed to be doing. So now the land is literally nothing more than advertising. And you can tell because when a product is not being well promoted by the land is when you get a big rush of Lego advertising, Lego official advertising, like the videos that we've seen for the smart play sets from Lego, everything that Lego puts on there. The F1 sets, all of those are Lego production commercials and advertisements and stuff like that. Not because land members aren't good at it, but because the majority of land members are US content creators, and F1's not that big in the US compared to Europe and stuff like that. So that's my rambling of opinion for right now. So, and of course that was just my opinion.
So there was a comment made about somebody in LAN the other day that I thought I was going to die when I heard it. It was so funny. So I won't repeat it, but if any of you guys watched the Lake Effect show, the Atlanta BrickCon episode was priceless, and yeah, go watch that. And shout out to those guys, because that show is awesome. It's a lot of fun.
Since you
Yeah.
referenced that, the trash can does come
kids.
off quite easy in regards to removing that off of a figure.
Oh, did you just do it?
Send you a picture real quick so you can reference what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I had a recent interaction with the Lake Effect show, and
yeah, those kids are characters, and they're very
we've agreed to disagree on some things. So
yeah, they are. So yeah, they're mouthy kids for sure. I don't know. They're a different personality type, but they do some shit, man, that has me rolling. It's all inappropriate. It's a lot of it is just, it's very Howard Stern in a lot of ways, I suppose. But yeah,
they're so young. I don't know if they'd even know who Howard Stern is.
yeah, that's fair. I don't even know what the current Howard Stern equivalent would be.
That's hard to say too.
Yeah. You familiar with Opie and Anthony?
I know the names.
I don't know if that was just a regional thing. They were kind of shock jock radio host. I think they might have just been in this area, like southern New England. I'm not really sure. That was a lot of sports too, but it was some same kind of shock jock attitude. Stud Lake knows who Howard Stern is for sure. Okay. Cody's very young, isn't he? I thought he was young. Although, or I'm just getting old. I don't know.
Thank you, Smokey. I agree. The approval of the agreement there. Like always, you know, everyone is allowed to agree to disagree and have their own opinions about how they feel and stuff. My take on the Lego Ambassador Network, as well as creators and stuff like that, is just my Gen X perspective with a lot of it as well. So, but
he's got 3. I think Cody's got at least 3 kids, if I remember right. Yeah, I love opinions. I love people when they're happy, and I love when people tell me my opinion sucks. I'm all right with that because it's mine, and you don't have to have it, and that's the great thing. And I like when I think other people's opinions suck because it makes me reflect and wonder if there's a reason I disagree beyond like the knee jerk, that's not my opinion reason.
Sent you a couple pictures to to explain.
All right. Where?
There's one initial one, and then it's an interaction I had with Lake Effect
Okay. Where did you
Brew
send them?
on Instagram to your messenger. And then I also sent you the X-ray pictures of the smart brick, so you can look at those as well. But yeah, the trash can comes off pretty easy.
Oh, Jesus. Ah. All right. Wow. Okay, so that thing is smaller than one stud. That's bananas.
And it's funny because these X-ray pictures came out after a couple weeks of the product being out there, and I did a video several weeks beforehand that was talking about the technology that's inside the bricks and stuff based on what the patent pictures were and everything that was submitted and stuff like that. And I described the chips and stuff being smaller than the width of a stud in my video to begin with and stuff. And it was I find it quite humorous at the pushback that I got for what I was talking about, and people's going, "No, you don't even know what you're talking about or any of this stuff." And I said, all I could do was sit back and say, "Hey, unfortunately, this is the information that Lego has filed so that they can make these. So this isn't my opinion on anything. This is the factual information that I found on it." So trying to get it out there for people, but until they physically had it in their hands, they didn't want to listen to my supposed rhetoric of trying to promote this and talk about the products. So
Okay, let me put this link where I can find it, and then find StreamYard again. I just saved one of those pictures so I could share it. Now I have to figure out where I saved it. I'm very disorganized around here. This. All right. How do I do that? Share. Nope, definitely don't want to share that. Where is... This is surprisingly harder than I would have thought. Aha. Let's share this. Let me know if I'm sharing something that I'm not supposed to here. Hopefully I don't click the wrong button. Is the X-ray thing showing up here? All right, good. So I don't...
We could identify. Now, a lot of this was already shown in the blueprint drawings and stuff like that, in different perspectives and stuff like that of how it was all laid out and all of that. So being able to actually see all of this is a little difficult at times, but
yeah, it's cool when you realize exactly how much they crammed into this tiny little thing.
exactly.
Oh my word. Man, I definitely need glasses. I thought that said colon sensors. Like, what the hell did I put on screen? My God.
Colon sensors. That's funny.
What are you doing with this brick? Coils, antenna. Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, the brick is literally wrapped around with coils on every end, every side, top, bottom, everything. The synthesizer is a 4-bar synthesizer with different frequency synthesizers in each of them, which is actually what's encompassed inside the speaker. It's not actually a speaker; it's the synthesizer that actually vibrates and hums. And if there wasn't a gameplay, would you need a speaker or a microphone?
You wouldn't think so.
What would the purpose of a microphone be without gameplay? And you can actually take it and actually adjust the lighting with figures by talking to it And if you talk to it and say, make a loud noise next to it or something like that, you can actually activate something inside, something that obviously isn't active currently based on the level of play that we have with these. So is that going to be something that's going to interact with gameplay or with another smart tag down the road? Those are the things that we don't know yet.
So I wonder if there is only one microphone. So I was reading today about how Siri works, which I can say because there's nothing in here that has that. Well, in this room anyway. Because they say, oh, well, of course it's always recording me and monitoring me if, every time I mention its name, it turns on. Those things actually have like a secondary pre-mic built into them that only recognize that one word. And then they have like a buffer built in for all of the additional words. So once it verifies that you did in fact say that word, then it goes back and catches everything that followed. That's pretty cool.
It's got a time sensor to an activity trigger word, and then once the trigger word is activated, it then goes back and analyzes all the words that were said after the trigger word, so that they can make sure they catch the conversation and then answer. That's why there's a time delay when you ask one of those devices for a sentence, or you say turn this on or do that after you use the trigger word. It's because of the processing time to go back and collect that sentence or request that you had for them to process it and then do it.
Yeah. I still don't entirely buy it, but that's the best explanation that they could possibly have given for why they're not recording all the time.
Actively tracks and records, but it doesn't download to process. It's not until the trigger word actually captures the following statement after that is where it actually catches it.
And you've seen these reports from the Pokemon Go situation. You've seen
Which
that?
ones?
So apparently, like every bit of location data ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pokemon Go and the gameplay of tracking you, and they're using it for mapping systems and stuff like that, and all. Yeah, I've seen those, and I'm not sure I totally buy that, but at the same time, I could see them for managing flock sensors or something like that of pedestrian movements and stuff like that. I could definitely
and I have
see them
no
analyzing
hate
the
there.
data, but
It's good for
not the
them.
specific tracking me, just tracking movement of a device type thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than, Amazon buying iRobot, and now they know the square footage of everyone's house and your layout, and they can pitch you furniture, right? Because Roomba is going around and mapping your house.
Well, you've got a large L sectional sofa over there.
Yep.
And it's been mapped for that way for the last 5 years. You're due for a new sofa.
Yep. And
The sofa configuration didn't change.
it's not an invasion of privacy because you invited it into your house, right?
Fine print written into the service agreement when you activate your home access service and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So.
and they told you they were doing it, and you didn't listen. And I mean, I'm guilty there. Like, I'm not saying like everybody else is dumb. I'm so smart. I don't read any of these things either, right? I generally operate under the assumption that everybody either has bad intentions or they're out to profit from me in some way that I'm not yet aware. And I'm okay with that because I respect every hustle that's not hurting somebody, right? I don't care what anybody's hustle is. If you're not hurting somebody, then I'm all right with it. That's my general view of everything in life. Everybody can do whatever they want, be into whatever you want or whoever you want or whatever you're going to do. As long as you're not hurting anybody, it's all fair game. So if you can make a buck on it and you want to map my house and, say, hey, it looks like you've got room for, 30 more acro units, give me a sale because I'll buy them.
Real quick, I want to address the comment here from Smokey. And Smokey, thank you very much for making that comment there. It says, as a salesperson, I think, and this is my opinion, Brick Dad, that your knowledge may be slightly coming off as ego and apologism. Too much information can often deter sales and interest. I totally respect that. And I agree with you. And I acknowledge that that is part of my character and my personality is I do tend to come off as having a bit of an ego at times. So thank you for pointing that out. It does remind me and help keep me aware of those types of situations and stuff like when I do that. And I don't intend for that to happen. The majority of the reason that I do what I do and talk the way I talk about stuff is to try and make sure that I get the information out there to counteract personal opinions so that people can literally just have the information to make the best choice they can with all of the information and not be swayed by bias of another person's opinion. I'd rather them think I'm a bit egocentric with what I think, but still be able to look at all of the information, if that makes any sense. I'm an ass. I will freely admit that at times. My wife would confirm that most of the time, but I apologize if I've come off that way to anybody in that regard. My main concern is making sure that everyone can make their own well-informed personal opinion about a product, specifically this one here, which is a passion of most of us, if not all of us that are watching this stream, to make the informed decision themselves and not go off of so-and-so said they don't like it, so I don't like it also.
Yeah. Well, so and so has probably recommended a whole bunch of terrible pizza to me, so their opinion is relevant. You know what? I feel like my chair is sinking. I'm a lot shorter now than when I started the show. What's going on
I think
here?
I'm getting taller because I keep getting closer to the screen. Yeah. So here's my question is for not just you, but for your viewers as well. How, with what I've presented tonight, can I better share this information with the community to help other people make the best informed decisions for them with the information? Obviously, as Smokey said, it being aware of how I present the information definitely makes a difference in that. And as I said earlier in the stream, I've had some other people make a couple comments about me being aware that if somebody doesn't like something, they're just as entitled that opinion as I am to say that their opinion is complete BS. So yeah, no, I definitely have to remember to stop and take a step back at times and allow my passion to calm before presenting information.
Yeah. Was it Ben's opinion sucks?
And just so everyone's clear, I didn't write that song. I had nothing to do with that song. And yeah, Ben's opinion sucks. So
Oh man, that song is priceless.
it is. It is.
Yeah. Oh, and I looked after I asked a week or two ago, and I cannot find a playlist of Brickworld music anywhere. I do not see it in that channel, and I'm very sad about it.
Yeah, I'll actually bring that up.
Yeah.
And we may literally start a unlisted stream and just start playing through our songs and do a private screening of all the songs and then post it on YouTube as its own video for that purpose.
That'd be great.
One that would be not interacting with any public, but just a song after song after song with a little commentary in between of where that song came from to be able to do that so that everybody can have. No, I probably wouldn't. We probably wouldn't even do it as a members only. There might be some songs that would be relegated to a members only live,
Yeah.
or not live, but a members only video for that reason. But for the most part, we try to keep our songs as clean as possible, unless somebody's a effing jerk, and their opinion sucks. So. But yeah, no, we definitely want to get the songs out there so that everybody can enjoy those, because there are some bangers in there and some good stuff. So
Yeah, I introduced my daughter to axolotl blindness tonight.
oh my God, right? Yeah.
And she loved it.
Oh, we had so much fun with that at Brickworld Indy, because Vince had his giant mech there at Indy, and on his mech he had an axolotl and a salamander.
Oh, cool.
And I asked him which was which, and he couldn't tell me which was which. So he's like, they're right there. They're both there. They're right there. Both of them. They're literally right next to each other. So
fantastic. Yeah, I didn't see the final product on that mech. I need to go back and look at that now.
You can actually. Eric's got to go. Void. And seeds kills. Yes, I 100%. Accoutrement.
Yeah.
Accoutrement. Yeah. See, I can't. It's stuck in my head all the time. So these songs are. But and we've got some other bangers that are in the backlog of getting videos with them. The songs are great. There may be a couple members only ones that I can't discuss until they're actually done, but we're working on videos for those as well, and they may entail something about grumpfluencers. Just saying.
Oh, that's okay. Now I see what the problem is. Because he is VMAC Attack on Instagram, right?
Yes.
Why can I not find him?
Let's see what I got.
Here we go. Nope, that's not him either. What is going on? You would think that that would be an easy one to find. All right, this is something I can do off the air. It's fine. Figure it out. But I do want to see the final product on that Mac.
I'm looking to see. I don't see it on his profile at the moment. But what I will do is see if I can. We did he did a news interview while we were there with the news station.
Awesome.
And I have that clip. If I can send it to you. No, it's too long. I'll have to send it an email to you.
All right. Yeah, I missed Sunday's show because I didn't think there was going to be a show, and apparently that happened.
It kind of did. I was there for a very beginning of it, but I was down in the lobby of the hotel with Mark. Vince was in a hotel with his wife and trying to do the show. Ben and Lene were trying to hold down the fort and run the shows from home. And yeah, so it was a hodgepodge show, but it was a good show. But it was a little hodgepodge trying to get everybody in there. Mark never did make it in, which is really difficult after doing a weekend show to try and hop in and then do a live stream as well, because we have all of our staff that are still in the hotel. So it's Sunday nights are the calm down time of actually hanging out and like you felt at Brick World, that last day of being able to just be around people. It's a whole different vibe. So
yeah, it sounds like we are actually going to be able to push the trip until Monday, so we'll actually get to be around for the end. Because of all the snow days, they've pushed the school year later, so she actually has more days of school after the trip, so we're not screwing up the end of the school year as much. So it looks like we might be able to
Of the
pull off
school year.
Monday. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Well, of course,
no,
like everything, family first, but if you are, that would be awesome.
yeah, it's Monday to Monday would be cool. I would like that. All right. Well, it is midnight, so I think we should probably wrap things up here. I got to get some sleep, and these meds are going to wear off sooner or later, and I'm just going to be a coughing mess. So this has been a whole bunch of things. Enlightening, I suppose, is the first word I would use there. There's definitely a lot of awesome information. Little bit of debate in there, which I appreciate. It's I love friendly debate.
Yeah,
It's
being
always
able
wonderful.
to hear the other perspectives as well gives me opportunity to reevaluate my position on the topic and consider counterpoints so that I can say and be rational with what I'm saying and what I'm thinking. So not just your opinion in this conversation, but also your viewers. Smokey smokes. I know Smokey hates the smart place system from a collector's position and stuff like that, and doesn't see the value in a lot of the technology. Totally cool. I understand that, and like we've said, it's not for everyone. But that's the thing. Make an informed decision and play the way you want to play. It's Lego. That's the whole point of it.
Yep. All right, sir. Well, thank you again for joining me. It has been a pleasure. Everyone in chat, you guys are the best. I love you all. If you could give that like button a little tickle on the way out the door, I would appreciate it. I won't ask you to sub because I'm going to assume you all already have. Next week's guest has rescheduled for mid-April, so I don't know what's happening next week. We will find out on Monday when I make the announcement of whatever's happening. Until then, something's going to happen. Who knows what it'll be? I'll see you guys all out in the socials. Love you all. Good night.